Happy Friday the 13th. We're back to talk more Jason. But this time we're doing it in 3D. Whoa! As today we're talking about 1982's Friday the 13th, Part 3. Let's go.
Flip the switches to maximum amplification as Parker, Dan, and Angela prepare for their operation. With trivia and plot points scrawled across their walls, laughter and debate erupt as the movie's drama calls. The world may call them crazy, minds gone astray, but genius and passion and madness all dance the same way. Now the show begins to rise from its broadcast realm, and you can open your eyes as we dissect that film.
Oh my goodness. I'm all dizzy now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dissect That Film Podcast, the podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, are the wonderful Dan and Angela. Hello, hello.
Oh, hello. I keep forgetting that you don't say it anymore.
I know. It's so weird that I don't say the last part of the intro to your name. We have a guest tonight, guys. A last-second guest, but he's here, and we're so happy that he is. And got to bring up Hulk Hogan. Jeez. You know that he listens to the show if he's going to be torturing me with Hulk Hogan. We got...
It's the closest thing I had by me to make a 3D effect.
You
had your dick. Just saying.
Well, that's true, but there's nothing I can stick it in here.
I'd have to do some blur effects.
Depends on how recessed your lens is. I mean, anything's a hole if you're
you figure it out. That's true.
We have John from DeweyPodmonster back to talk another Friday the 13th. Welcome back, John.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Oh, absolutely. We're so happy that you last second said you would show up after the worst scheduling I've ever done on this show. So thank you.
Hey, you're getting the job done, and that's what matters.
I try. I don't know how it's happened for so long, but I get there. It's funny. I did the intro with these glasses that I got from Movie Dumpster, and I've really never looked at the inside where there's like ads, and one of them was for Suburban Commando, starring Hulk Hogan, Christopher Lloyd, and Shelley Duvall.
Is that 3D too?
No, it was because it was a New Line Cinema movie. And then the other one was for House Party 2, starring Kid and Play. And I think Martin Lawrence was also in that one.
They had a House Party movie in 3D, then Kid or Play, whichever one of their hair is definitely going to put an eye out.
Yeah. But
probably.
I love these 3D glasses because it's for Freddy's Dead, which is one of my favorite movies from that franchise that most people hate.
Which number is that?
Sounds like it's going to be a
6.
It might be a familiar theme throughout the day.
But today we are celebrating another Friday the 13th, and that means on the show we talk about a Friday the 13th movie, and we are now on part 3 from 1982.
Weekends are a good time to escape to the woods. Unless the weekend begins with Friday the 13th. Because 13 is an unlucky number. But out here, so are 1 through 12. Because these are Jason's woods. And nobody leaves them alive. Friday the 13th, Part 3. Jason. You can't fight him. You can't stop him. And now, you can't even keep him on the screen. Friday the 13th, Part 3. When it comes to killing in Jason's woods, Jason will come to you. Friday the 13th, Part 3. A new dimension in terror. It will scare you.
John and Sean joined us for the original, and then we had Stu from Stu World Order join us for part 2. And then John's back for part 3 because why not? We know John. If you listen to DeweyPodmonster, which you should, it's a great show. Stop it. I said the words. It means it's true. You know that John is a big fan of this franchise, and he's a big fan of this movie in particular. So it's one of those things where I have in the past talked about my dislikes about this movie. We did do a ranking episode a long time ago where we went through the entire franchise and ranked them, and this one was pretty close to the bottom. But as we're going through the franchise again individually, we're re-ranking the movies to see if the rankings change, because I feel like they will. Because I think when we did that ranking episode years ago, that was back during the cynical times of Dissect That Film, where we were extra mean to certain movies. And I feel we've matured slightly since then to maybe give movies a little bit more of a chance to not be as bad as maybe we said they were. Will that be the case for part 3? I don't know, but let's talk about it. John, what is your history with Friday the 13th part 3?
Oh, geez, where do I start? So, like the majority of horror movies I really love, my love for Friday the 13th was born out of the video store. I started renting them as a kid. That's how I got into them. They've kind of stuck around forever. I've always liked Jason more than his colleagues, I guess you could say, just because I think I like that his movies are less thinky and more brutal. Like, they're just kind of set up to be more of a fun roller coaster ride, as opposed to like Freddy's always trying to like one-line you to death, and that's fine, but like it gets old. And Michael that's another series, that a whole different discussion, but he's so up and down from movie to movie as to whether or not he's worth paying attention to. And this one sticks out for me. This particular movie sticks out for me for a lot of reasons. I mean, this is the first one where Jason actually looks like Jason, so that counts for something. This has one of, if not my favorite kills in the entire franchise in it, so that puts it up there pretty good. I'm a total sucker for the 80s 3D gimmick being just like rammed down your throat, and this one rams it down your throat as much as any other movie. It's one of the first horror movies to be done in 3D. It came out the same year as Jaws 3D, and I think this beat it to release by a couple months. So
this actually came out almost a year before Jaws 3. This was
even better.
Jaws 3 came out in 83. I think this came out around the same time as Amityville 3D.
Yeah, well, that movie is not
no one talks about that movie, so clearly it's not that good.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I like in this movie, and I'm sure we'll get into them in more deep. We'll dissect them, if you will. But I think this one gets a lot of things right, and I think the things that people tend to bash it for, although I understand, I think a lot of it is just kind of like, you came to a Friday the 13th movie, right? Like, you didn't expect to see like The Shining when you got here, did you? So
that is true. I think it's as I've rewatched this franchise, I think I've gone into it more with an open mind. Like, yes, we're 3 movies into a horror franchise. I guess I can't expect like a fantastic acting, a really just solid plot. It's Jason running around killing horny teenagers. What more are we asking for?
I'm a big fan of the horror genre, and I can tell you there's nothing that fucks up horror movies more than plot and good acting.
That is true to an extent. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not signed on to a horror movie and like being like, I think this is going to change. Well, I mean, horror did change a lot.
Maybe
of
now,
lives,
but not in the 80s.
No, it definitely didn't change a lot of the actors in this movie's lives. Because a lot of them didn't really do a lot after this movie. So, I mean, that's kind of the case for a lot of these. So. Yeah, a lot of conventions, which is good for them and good for the fans. But yeah. Angela, what's your history with this movie?
I had no idea when I first watched this. I know we've watched it about a handful of times, but that's about...
Oh, when I say history, you don't have to remember the very first time you watched it.
I couldn't even remember how many times we've watched it.
I did watch this with you on stream years ago before we even
did
the podcast.
Yeah.
You watch movies before this podcast?
Sometimes it was very rare. No,
I didn't know
Yeah,
that was allowed.
we used to have movie night in our own Discord before.
you had it on
I
your
stopped
Twitch
streaming.
channel. You were breaking the rules.
Oh yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And then we got
Oh, fuck that shit. It's all dead. Nobody streams anymore. It's all titty ladies and hot tubs. Don't matter.
Listen, Linda, I'm not done streaming.
Just like
You
Friday the
stop with
13th.
Negativity.
Very true.
Just because you don't want to.
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
mean I
I'm just
don't
being
want to.
negative.
Yeah, stop it.
All right,
No.
Dan.
I have
What's
to-
your
I have
history
to-
with this movie?
Well, I've certainly watched it before.
Wow. good.
It's one of those again with my cousin. Probably watched it when we were going bombing through the whole series, or like back in the day in one of the whole USA Friday the 13th marathon kind of things, right? That was on the TV.
Yep.
Of course, I got all this stuff late, but it was just one that I bought. Like we, watched them all, and then I went back and bought a bunch of them on DVD. And this isn't one that like is really high in the rungs for me, like as far as like the Friday the 13th franchise. It's not like that it's particular. I'm not like saying this movie's like shit per se, but it's not a big one for me. So I don't really have a history, I guess. It's there.
So it exists? As
Yeah,
like
I
to
have
say?
seen it
All right.
more than once.
My history with it is, and I've talked about it many times, with this franchise, when I would go to my dad's for the weekend, we would go to the little hole-in-the-wall video rental store, which I've talked about many times on the show. And with Friday the 13th, he would allow me to rent 2 movies at a time. And so when I hopped into this franchise, I would go, it was 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. And so I got to watch this, and then one of my favorites, which is part 4. And more of my memories stem from part 4, but I do have some fond memories of this one because, yeah, it does have like the really wonky 3D effects. We get to see Jason in his iconic look for the first time. As I got older, this was one of the ones I didn't watch as much as, I think it was like part 2, part 4, part 6, and Jason X was like the one I think I watched the most of the entire franchise. I still love Jason X. It's just outrageous. And that was little kid Parker was just like, oh my God, he's in space now. And he's doing some crazy stuff. So, but yeah, part 3 was always, it was like I watched it on occasion, but as I think every time I would watch it, I would dislike it more and more. So it was interesting to revisit it today, and I'm very excited to talk about it. I'm not going to share my thoughts on I'm not going to share what I thought of it after my recent viewing until we hop into this plot. So a little bit of the behind the scenes of the movie. It was released August 13th, 1982. It was directed by Steve Miner. He's the only director to direct more than one Friday the 13th, as he also did part 2. He's also, I think, one of the few directors to actually direct movies in 2 massive horror franchises, because he also did Halloween H2O. We've talked about him a few times on the show as he directed Lake Placid. We did talk about H2O. He directed House from, I think it was like 1985. I can't remember when that movie came out.
First one?
The first House? Wasn't it like the mid 80s?
No, that was
Was
yeah, but that was Cunningham who
okay,
directed the first one.
He wrote it then, right? Wasn't he involved in it?
I'm not sure about that, but
You're right.
I wouldn't
think
be
I've made that.
surprised.
I
I
think
know
I've made that
Cunningham-
mistake multiple times.
all I know is
Man's
that
a
the only
liar.
thing
Don't listen to him.
Cunningham
Sorry.
Cunningham gets credit for the OG Friday the 13th, the original House, and then fucking up the Friday the 13th franchise despite there being 11 more movies after he left.
You're right. Yeah, he was
He fucked it up. It's over.
He directed the remake of Day of the Dead in 2008. Did you know that, Dan?
No.
The one thing Rames?
And I'd prefer not to know.
No, Day of the Dead, not Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Wait, Ving
No, they
Rhames
did a
was in-
remake of Day.
Oh, I didn't.
They
know
did
that.
a-
Rhames the day
They
as
did.
well?
They did 2. He's in
Yeah,
one of them.
Because I know they did Day of the Dead and like Day of the Dead, like Contagium or some shit like that.
Yeah. They're both fucking garbage, so I don't. But
I don't even-
Ving Rhames is in one of them for at least a little while. So
I don't
so-
bother watching them, dude. We got the original, we got the classic. I don't fucking need the deal. So,
I love Dawn of
I'm
the
good.
Dead.
you're a smarter person than I am.
Yeah, that's fair. I do. We are going to revisit Dawn of the Dead at some point. I have spoke very negatively of that movie, the remake, not the original. But the original Day is
Oh,
my
the original
favorite
Day
zombie
is
movie.
so good.
Fucking love that movie
So good.
to death. So
Back to House. Steve Miner did direct it. It was produced by Sean S.
Oh.
Cunningham and written by Fred Decker.
Oh, fuck me.
He
too much stuff to remember, dude. There's like a billion movies.
do you remember the C. Thomas Howell movie called Soul Man, where C.
Sounds
Thomas
familiar.
Howell is trying to get into college, so he pretends to be
Oh, yeah.
a black man to do
Yes, I have seen that movie.
it? Yeah, that was a thing.
Obviously, predating the 2000s.
Oh, yeah, that was the 80s.
That was the 80s.
That was the
Yeah.
80s.
I've seen it.
Yeah, what's his name? Mufasa, James Earl Jones. He was in that. Yeah, interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't,
Mufasa. Darth
Well, I'm gonna
Vader.
say
I
this.
don't know.
People can be like, Dan, you dumb fuck. I'm gonna say this. I watched that movie. I don't think it was that bad. I think it kind of like has some interesting perspective stuff to it. Because this kid goes, he's a white kid that's black to go to college. And obviously there's jokes and stuff to be had, but there are moments of like how black people are seen by certain people in society. That's what I'm talking about. Like it's not just all slapstick and inappropriate jokes here and there, but it's there's like an idea. Like I said, I'm not saying it's okay because personally I don't give a shit, but whatever. It's only bad if white people do it. Remember that. Any other race could pretend to be another race, but it's only bad if white people do it. True fact.
Usually the rule.
It's true.
And it's fair. Because at the same time, white people are usually the ones that piss off every other race. So I can't really, people want to tell white people not to do stuff. I tend to agree with them. So
Me too.
Fair.
The majority of us are dumb. So
yeah.
This was written by Martin Kitrosser and Carol Watson. It was the music was done by Harry Manfredini coming back, and it was also the main theme was also done by Michael Zager. And it's possibly one of the
best theme in the entire history of cinema. Fuck Jaws, fuck Halloween, all these other movies that have these great scores. This movie has the best opening score of any film, period.
I love the fact that they were just like, this movie has no disco theme to it. Like there's nothing to indicate like, oh, we're like, it's going to be like a Friday the 13th. There's going to be some disco stuff going. No. It's just the theme is disco. Everything else is just normal, early 80s things happening, but they wanted to try something different. And I enjoyed a lot because we get the 3D title card too, which is great, which is a lot better than just that generic white text over a black background that most of the Friday the 13th movies tend to do. Is Dan dead? Is he okay? Did you have to
he's okay.
resuscitate him?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Dripping?
He's gone for a long time.
Had to purge the sins.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. I got my hat. I'm naked. I have no power now.
Sorry, I'm going to keep going. The budget was $2.2 million. I mean, $36.7 million. Pretty damn good. I think this is one of the highest grossing Friday the 13th movies in the franchise. Like, of course, based on, when it came out. The cast, we have Dana Kimmel as Chris. We have Paul Kratka as Rick. Tracy Savage as Debbie. This was her last movie. She would go on to be like a news lady.
Oh.
Yeah, for a long time. I think she probably still does it today. Jeffrey Rogers is Andy, who was a character that I completely did not catch his name up until I think his death, when his name is said like 5 times in like the span of 30 seconds. Catherine Parks is Vera. Larry Zerner as Shelly. Good old Shelly. David Katims as Chuck, which I think was the hippie guy. The fake Tommy Chong. Rachel Howard as Chili. Richard Brooker steps in to play Jason, and he is one of the, like, his build is just insane. His shoulders go so high.
Well, it's all fat. Isn't it all foam and fake and shit? Because he was like a slender guy. He was an air acrobat, and they had to like pat him out. From what I was reading, could be wrong.
You could be right.
No, you're not wrong.
He was a trapeze artist.
Yeah,
but
they hired him because the other guy wouldn't do it.
But the thing is why did they have to make him look like that? It's not like Jason in the last one looked like that. But I mean, I'm not complaining. I think Jason looks pretty cool in this one. It's just the build and what he was able to do. There are a couple scenes that still just don't work that we'll talk about when we get to those scenes, but I'm just like, other than that, his presence is very intimidating, and I think he does a great job being Jason. Nick Savage as Ali, Gloria Charles as Fox, Kevin O'Brien as Loco, and Cherry Muggins as Edna, and Steve Susskind as Harold. And then we had some like flashback cameos from people from the past movies.
Oh,
This movie came out 16 months after part 2. Like, that's just how fast they were. They were in production for the next installment while the movie was being, put in theaters. Like, they were like,
The glorious time we
Yeah.
used to have.
yeah.
Right.
And it's crazy because like this movie only cost almost a little under $2.5 million, and it's like they would just be like, oh well, we'll just take a little bit of that profit from the last one. We don't even care if this one does well. Like, we still have profits from the first one that we can pull from, and they could have pulled profits from the first one and made like 5 more movies, like without even the other ones being successful. They were just, but the thing is they were like, this made almost $40 million. It's like, yep, keep on.
They didn't
pumping them out.
start losing money on this franchise until like either 7 or 8, something like that, and then they
Yeah.
sold it to New Line, and it continued to lose money until they basically turned them into part of the Freddy franchise.
Yep.
Jason X might have made money, I'm not sure, but I know 8 and 9 did not do financially well.
I wonder why 8 didn't succeed.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna talk
right.
about it.
We'll get there in some years.
We have several years.
So yeah,
You're doing this tomorrow morning. I can talk about it tomorrow morning if you want.
So yeah, this was one of those movies in the early 80s that decided to do 3D effects. Like I said, I think this was around the time that Amityville 3D was coming out, and then the next year would be Jaws 3D, and it was all newer technology because like the 50s had like that 3D like era. It was like from like 53 to 58. There you saw a lot of those like what's his name, the director of like House of Haunted Hill,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Castle's his name. And
Yep.
he was putting out all those 3D movies, with Vincent Price and all those legends. And then it disappeared. And then the 80s started rolling around, and they're like, well, why don't we build something new and try that 3D thing again? Boy, was it a nightmare for this production because everyone hated it. Even the crew. Like, they just did not like how this all was set up. The actors felt like they couldn't act like to their full potential because they had to pander to the 3D camera. They said like when they would do any of the 3D shots, they would have to do them like 30 to 40 times. Like, they would talk about like just the wallet throw that Shelly does.
Yeah, it's
like 50
a story
times.
where Shelly it's 47, and the reason why I know it's 47 is because there's an interview with Larry Zern or whatever his name is, where he's like, yeah, they actually kicked me off set because I kept throwing the wallet wrong, and you would think it's an easy thing to do, but it's not. They show him trying to recreate it, and you'd be shocked how impossible it is for the average person to just toss a wallet towards a camera, apparently.
And they also, what they would do is when they would shoot some of these 3D shots, they'd also give awful annoying dialogue to like other characters.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do we like? It's cool. I mean, for the time, I mean, I have never seen this movie in the 3D that it was made in, but I could only imagine how at the time it probably looked super cool. But like when you're watching it in like high definition, you could see like the wires and like just some of the shots. You're just like, was this worth it?
You can see that on the old VHS cuts too. You don't need high definition for these.
Oh
wires.
yeah, they didn't do a great job hiding it, but I was also, they had a very minimal budget, so it was hard to hide those things. This was 1982. This is a 43-year-old movie now. Just wild to think about. But yeah, I mean,
I might still prefer like practical effects like this over some of the CG stuff we see now, because at least someone took the time to make that effect,
right?
Like actually physically make it, as opposed to telling ChatGPT to be like, explode this dude's head, and there you go.
But make it better. Okay, no, make it better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I've always been a practical effects advocate. Like, I think CG, like I can't denounce CG as a whole. I think if CG is used
Sure.
appropriately, it works. But when you're watching a movie and you can clearly, like, they shoot to a certain scene and they're like, it's a scene in a wide open area, and it's just like, that is 100% all fake. It's just a person on a blue screen. It doesn't look, it, like, you got to immerse me into the scene. Like, as much as Avatar is a movie that's like, it, like, I saw the second one, I've seen the first one a couple times. Like, there are movies that I don't really go back to revisit, but like, James Cameron somehow has made CG, like, all CG worlds immersive. And it's like, why can't other filmmakers do this? And it's, again, I know that movie costs like $400 million to make, but at least he used that $400 million to make a movie look good, even though it was 3.5 hours long, which did not need to be. You watch a Marvel movie, like, for instance, I'm like halfway through watching the new Captain America. I'm just like, there's so many scenes in that movie that just take me out, because it's just, they're like in downtown. They're like supposed to be in a in a small town. He's like driving through a small town. Nothing looks real. It just looks like weirdly shaded, and it's just, it doesn't take me in, man. Like, when you're watching the original Friday the 13th, and the first character that you see, and she's walking down the street of that little town before she hitches a ride, like, it just, it's real. It's real. These newer ones just don't.
It's interesting because there's almost like a sweet spot right around the late 90s. Like, and I know this is 93, but like, if you look at a movie like Jurassic Park, that's like the perfect balance of CG and practical effects, because that's a huge, wide open movie that's managed to take these huge scenes and all this huge settings and still make you feel like you're part of this park.
Yeah.
And then you talk about a movie like you're saying, like the new Marvel movies, and it just feels like they're doing some, it's like they're all in the sphere in Las Vegas and they just ran around in circles pretending to fight each other.
Exactly. It's unfortunate that we've gotten to this point, but what can we do? Thank God for indie filmmaking, and these indie filmmakers that are still using a lot of practical effects, and
there's still a few quality people in Hollywood that actually push for.
Right. I mean, look at The Substance. I mean, The Substance was a movie that was built primarily on practical effects. They had to use some touch-ups here and there for things, but it's like, it's not taking you out of the movie, where
Deadstream did a really good job with it, of kind of mixing the computer effects and the practical effects to make a really good product. And that one doesn't have the critical acclaim that The Substance does, but it's a really good balance in the genre that makes sense and uses CG to its advantage as opposed to just forcing it for everything.
Right. 100. So for the effects on this one, we have Martin Becker, which I have never heard of this guy, and I didn't really look into what he has done in his career, but this was, so Savini does the original, and then he doesn't return for 2, and then I guess he was busy doing something in order, he didn't come back. Like, he refused to do 2, and then I think he was busy for this one, and so 4 was the one.
Other way around. He did The Burning when they were doing part 2.
Right. But I think he also stated that he wasn't interested in doing it because he didn't want there to be a sequel to the second, or to the original.
He thought the character of Jason was stupid, which, I mean, there's an argument there. But he didn't like the character of Jason. He wanted him just to end with the creation in the first movie, and then he came back in 4 to finish what he created, in his words, and that clearly worked because there's never been another movie after the final chapter.
No, never.
Nope.
Ever.
There wasn't a new beginning.
No, not at all.
Or I'm trying to remember.
Jason didn't live. Jason didn't go to space. Jason didn't have telekinesis for some reason. So
he didn't fight Carrie.
Yep.
Yeah. For whatever reason. So
and we have Martin Zadoff as the 3D effects supervisor on this. He has a lot of fun stories. He's also, I guess, the no one can come to an agreement of who came up with the mask But I guess he states that he got the mask for, I think it was a Detroit Red Wings mask that he got from somebody, and he just felt appropriate. But then everybody else that's part of the production was like, "No, I came up with the idea. I came up." So there's no like clear indication on whose idea was to come up with the mask. So
just like the design of Jason from the first movie, like 10 people take credit for that too. So
yeah. Well, I think it's time to hop into the plot of Friday the 13th, Part 3. Are we all ready?
Yeah.
All right. It is time to dissect that
camp counselor.
There's no camp counselors in this one.
Yeah, close enough. Fine. Dissect that teenager, whatever you want.
There we go. 25-year-old teenagers. The movie opens up.
We're in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Why does it seem like we just keep covering movies where it's like, you know how we're going to start this? With last time on whatever movie we're covering. It's literally last time on Friday the 13th, because it's literally the entire ending other than the extended ending of the second part. But it's Ginny going to Jason's shack, pretending to be his mom. Paul attacks attacks Jason. Then she ends up attacking Jason, but then it just shows them walking away. But then we see Jason like slowly move, and you're like, oh, okay, he's not dead, everybody. And then we get 3D effects, 3D credits as the Friday the 13th Part 3 come out of zombie mom's eyes. We are then as you do. Yes, exactly. We have to have Mama Voorhees there in her melty face,
drunken head.
Yeah, I just had one of them just to have he like actually shrunk her head, and it's like a keychain on his shirt or something. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's the necklace.
Yes. Where's your mom? I have her with me always.
No. He keeps his mom's head in like his inside of his rib cage.
Oh,
like what's his name? Victor from Underworld, where he kept the key.
I think that's how you get sepsis.
He'll be all right.
He can live through anything. He's fine.
That is true. He's not a zombie yet, though.
Give it time.
We are at a grocery store / convenience store, just Crystal Lake store. And we meet Harold, who is just hanging out with the laundry, and then his wife's just out the window with her curlers in her hair. She's like, Harold, stop being an idiot! Put the laundry in! And this is where we get the first bout of 3D, where he's got the pole, and he's looking straight at the camera to make sure the pole is in the shots. It's so good.
You know who this lady reminds me of?
No.
Reminds me of the lady Gone in 60 Seconds. The guy gets his car stolen. Hey, that guy stole my car. Too bad he didn't steal your old lady. She's in the house with her curls. Go walk the dog. Yeah, that lady.
I wouldn't have
never thought of that before.
Yeah, me either. Nope.
That's what I love. It's what I do.
There we go. So we then have a newscast of the murders at Crystal Lake. The newscaster is Steve Miner himself. And
fuck him.
He talks about all the murders. There's 8 people that died. And Ginny is being sent to the hospital with it because she has injuries, and Edna's on the couch with her. She's knitting something, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's like right down the street." Even though this is technically California, this was the first Friday the 13th that wasn't filmed in New Jersey, so they had to build, the place that we hang out at for the majority of the movie by scratch, and
it still was convincing. It was practical.
It is practical.
They had to build the lake too.
Yep. It was more like a
But the lake looks like shit at the end of the movie. So.
It does. It sure does. It doesn't even look like a lake. It looks like a little pond.
It is. It's like a mud hole. So.
Yeah. Like when you watch the first two and you actually see this like massive lake that they're on, just like it fits. They see this like a hole in the ground filled with water.
They paid like 2 interns $50 to go out there with shovels and just dig a giant hole in the middle of the woods.
Oh. So. You better pay me more than $50 to dig that massive piece of shit.
This is 1982 $50. That's worth like at least $75 now.
Dude, jobs were tough back then. Finding a good job back then, it was hard. They would have taken that money. My dad used to tell me in the early 80s, him and his brothers used to walk cornfields, like looking for issues and stuff with the court, and that's literally all they did because it's the only kind of work they could find.
I mean, you did
Jobs are
grow
tough,
up in the
man.
Cornhusker state, so I feel like there was a
Well,
lot of corn.
There
in
is, but I'm
this
just saying, like, just in general, like, it was a bad time. It was a really bad time for the economy. There was a lot of inflation, kind of like now.
I was going to say, it's
surprisingly similar.
feels
It's
very
actually
similar.
extremely similar. Yeah.
So somebody's wandering around outside. You see, you know it's Jason. Does Jason have a different outfit on when you first see him compared to like the outfit he wears for the rest of the movie? Okay.
No, I think
No?
he stops between getting killed in the last movie to like get a shower, a shave, and a new set of clothes in his trailer, toilet, kitchen thing that he's got going on.
I have read, now this may not be true because this is IMDb, that this is the only shot in the movie where you see him where he is the Stan Winston thing. The original like Stan Winston design they were supposed to use. Yeah, like because he had the different face for the original ending of this movie and they changed it.
Yeah.
This is apparently the only shot in the film where he's still that like original design. Where
But it's in the dark, so you don't actually see. Yeah.
Of course, you see it better nowadays than you did.
Yeah, it's hard to see. I mean, you see that he's not wearing a mask, but but it's still like in the darkness. So it's you know, it was probably like, they're not gonna be able to see his face too well. So who cares if we use that old effect? Because I think Stan Winston was slightly involved in the second one. We talked about it because he's the one who actually the Mrs. Voorhees head that's in the fridge in the beginning of that movie was a Stan Winston effect. That was like the only one that made.
Well, they supposedly shot a whole different ending with the Stan Winston Jason.
Right in this one. In this one,
yeah. I've seen this. I've seen stills of it.
Yeah,
and
I haven't seen it like actually play, but the face kind of looks like one of those like pig orc dudes from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. He does. He really does. He looks less like sloth.
Yeah,
but you know,
I mean, that's a great description. Sloth is definitely related to Jason in some way.
Well, that woman, I'm just assuming like Sloth, he's looking at that woman like baby Ruth, and like that's what he's thinking.
He just hasn't found Ethel yet. That's the problem. So
yes,
the one.
He's got 2 more movies to go before he finds Ethel. Although I guess Roy finds Ethel, but anyway.
So Edna is this woman's name, and she goes outside. She's talking shit about her husband, like Harold can't do anything right. Got to put the laundry away. Can't even do that. Like, did you?
As he do?
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. He's just literally eating their inventory. He's eating like opening Planters peanuts, and he's saving he's taking a rabbit out of like the vegetables that are for sale, and eating some donuts. He also eats fish food. Then he sees what it's made out of and he spits it out. Like, well, maybe don't put fish food in your mouth, idiot.
It was fine before you knew. It's fine. Just eat it.
Yeah.
I just assumed he was going to take a bite out of the rabbit when he found it. He's eating half the rest of the fucking store. This is why they're not succeeding. Brutal. It's this dumbass's fault.
Yeah, I know. Can't eat the inventory.
He's a savage, dude.
You're losing
Goes
money.
To the shitter. Doesn't even wipe himself after a greasy ass fart.
Dude, and we got to listen to it too. We got to listen to the plops.
Yeah, that's some dude. That's like some splatter. Most of that did
why
not.
do we need to hear this, man? I don't need.
But he's got outhouse booze, so that's a plus. You can go out there and get loaded while he's unloading.
I don't even think that's an outhouse. I've seen outhouses. That's like a box with a hole in it, but it's like there's like it looks like a proper toilet, and I'm like, but what else is in this room? It's like these huge storage shed, like doors with lights behind them. Like, what is going on in this room?
I mean, we all have seen the book. Everybody poops, so we know.
Everybody poops, but you.
No,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I love that. The one thing I do love about this movie is the fact that they use the Jason theme, even when Jason isn't there. I mean, he's there in the area, but like they show Edna sneak up on Harold, but they're using Jason's theme, so that you're like, oh shit, Harold's about to get it. But then it turns out to be Edna. She's like, "You're fat. Your doctor said you're fat. You got to lose weight." I'm like, he's really not that fat. I feel like I'm fatter than that guy. I would have done the same thing. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep shoving this donut down my throat.
Dude, the chocolate donuts he was eating.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
I just love donuts.
Ah, dude. We should get donuts together.
Sounds good. Is there any good donut places down there when I go?
I don't know where he's going to be at. I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. We'll find one. We'll fucking find some donuts. All right.
I like donuts.
There's such a thing as a bad donut place.
Yeah, listen. I'm going to be that person. Let's start some controversy right now. Krispy Kremes can eat an ass. Like, I do not like Krispy Kreme donuts.
They're fine.
You had them fresh?
Yes. I don't like them.
We
Okay.
have the hot and ready sign.
Okay.
Like almost any.
That's fine.
I have a
bakery.
feeling you just offended him.
It's okay. Listen,
I'm not
I
upset
grew
about
up-
that.
I grew up eating Krispy
I
Kreme.
just don't like them.
We always stopped when the hot and ready sign was on. They're good.
We have them fresh here, and I don't mind them. But I also pass about 8 dramatically better donut shops.
Mhm.
My point is, if you're giving me a choice between a Krispy Kreme and no donut, I'm probably taking the Krispy Kreme.
Okay, fair.
Oh, yeah,
But would
absolutely.
you like Krispy Kreme over just a proper bakery that makes donuts?
And I would
No.
also take Krispy Kreme over Dunkin'.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Dunkin' is
Okay, that's
so like I only would get actual Dunkin' donuts if it was just like I'm starving. I need something for breakfast. They're cheap. Like even now they're still cheap. And it's like I'll just grab a couple of those. But they're nothing special. We have a donut place literally down the road. Like it's a legit bakery.
Yeah,
You can
we do.
watch them make the donuts like from scratch all the way to the very
Yep,
end.
yep.
And they're divine.
Did they hire the Dunkin's guy that stays up all night and says time to make the donuts and kind of shuffles around like a schluck?
No, I don't think so.
Because I don't think he's working anymore. So
I got it. I want to make a donut store. We've talked about making a donut shop,
No, a bakery.
a bakery. Fuck it, donut shop, and it's
We
we're
already
gonna.
have
It's,
a donut shop.
just listen. This is patent pending. It's going to be
Oh,
called
Lord.
"Fill Your Donut Hole." Fill your whole
I'd
donut
go.
hole donuts. Like we'll fill your hole.
All right.
Marketability. You got to think about marketability. All right.
is it
it's
still a
creative.
donut if the hole's filled?
No, your hole is going to be filled with donuts. Which hole is up to you? You just purchased them. Just don't do it in the fucking store.
Rather not in the parking lot either. Please take it off.
No,
Yeah,
just
please don't.
go away.
Not in public.
Give me money and get the fuck out.
Be
Oh,
glad
do
to,
you think-
to design your advertising campaign if you're going to keep slogans like that going.
Right? So, do you hot take? Because I don't know where everybody lives, but if anybody has states that have legalized marijuana, like if they're in that state, do you think they should? There you go. Do you think marijuana shops should have like a hot and ready sign? Could like trigger something mentally, like, dude, I need weed, and like they
So-
go buy the weed.
Or you
and
could just
the-
have one
What-
every 5
so-
feet, and people know. People know.
That's true.
That's what happens. So that's what happens when it gets legal in your area is they open up every 5 feet. So to totally go on a tangent here,
Please.
one of the dispensaries by us, they just started letting the Girl Scouts just park in front of the door.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when every Saturday you pick up your stuff and there's like these 8 to 10 little girls that just start ambushing you with like cookies, and these girls make it. They started with just a wagon. They have like a full on canopy. They got like 6 tables now. They come there with like. I've seen them unload, and they bring 3 minivans just full of fucking cookies to unload.
bands.
To sit in front of. I was like, and it's funny. So Sean, or my the other half of my show, his daughter she just aged out of the Girl Scouts, but she was doing it for a while, and he was always pissed because he was like, these fuckers aren't even paying attention to the rules. You're not supposed to sell these where a kid can't go in, and kids can't go in dispensaries. I'm like, well, technically they're on the sidewalk in front of the dispensary. That's bullshit. Just typical. I think he was just mad that he wasn't hanging out in front of the dispensary all day. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like
Hey, listen.
he's harumphing because he didn't think of it.
I said,
Parent,
I was like, they should get their entrepreneurial badge just for that because that's a
Yeah.
genius
Yeah.
idea. So
I think the parents would tolerate it a lot more too. Like, I don't mind being out here all day. Just go buy some.
I'm going to
No,
go
we
ahead
should
and
not.
smoke this. You stand over there by the road and don't
Yeah.
get hit by a car.
See, that happened close by when we started being able to sell stuff here. It's a certain percentage.
And they don't even allow that now.
They're still here.
I know. Listen,
But they set up outside of one of the buildings.
I
and
have
made a lot of money.
fair. I have no interest in marijuana. I don't give 2 shits about it.
One
But they
thing.
should legalize it because it's no worse than some of the other shit we have legally here, and we would make a fucking killing on revenue as a state. Just fucking do it.
No, they don't.
Agreed. I mean, my state it's fully legal, so
Oh, people
here.
don't realize it here because when they come in vacation, they're just like blazing, like, dude, you'll go into a room, it'll stink like weed and shit. Like, guys, you can't do that here. It's not legal in this state.
we can do what Delta 8 is the highest we can go.
Yeah, people don't give a fuck. I've literally had people on like a hotel we were cleaning, just sitting on the out in the balcony, just fucking blazing. I'm like, all right. Like, I'm not saying nothing. It's they do what the fuck they want to.
Right.
Before I graduated high school, there was people in the hotel we were staying at.
No, I believe it. I just hate having to clean after because I don't care for shit personally, but it's whatever. No judgment. Do what you got to do. Do who you got to do.
Well, Harold probably would enjoy some because he's.
Oh,
I think he's probably already high because he's eating a lot, or he's just like me. Or he's like me who just likes to eat. I love to eat.
I like to eat.
I like sandwiches.
I'd hang out with Harold, smoke a joint, and eat some fish food. Why not? So
fish food is the choice. Yes, the fish food.
You get high with the rabbit. You know, just hang around the store.
And he turns into the Trix rabbit, and you're like, wow.
Whoa. And he's like, give me half some. Yeah, like, silly rabbit. These tricks ain't for kids. These tricks ain't for you, or these tricks for kids. But whatever. We ain't giving kids marijuana, right? We don't advocate that. That's up to y'all.
Harold does, though, get attacked by a 3D snake. 3D rattlesnake.
Whoa. You see the string?
Yes. It's
very common in New Jersey. So.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think rattlesnakes are pretty much found in most states. It's just they're not super common.
Yeah, you got,
but also,
it depends on where you're at.
Was it in a cage?
Yeah, it looked like it was in a cage. And I don't think rattlesnakes are common in each state unless you have people from Florida that bring them to each state. Kind of like we occasionally. So I'm just outside of Detroit, and we occasionally get the news story that's like, so-and-so had an alligator wandering around the streets of Detroit. I'm like, yeah, because some fucking moron from Florida brought it up here and just realized, it gets big. So
we do have rattlesnakes here. I've never seen one, but I know we do have them. Mm-hmm. But we have easterns and pygmy rattlesnakes here. But it's like, I think you're going to be like on the southeastern United States and like the Southwest is probably where you're going to. We have rattlesnakes here. Do that? They're pretty uncommon.
They're pretty rare, but yeah, they exist here.
That's fair.
As a kid, I used to. There was a place there used to be like a piece of sheet metal that was on the ground. And as a kid, I would always go there because I'd always catch the garter snakes. Yeah. And I picked it up one day and I heard the rattle and went, nope, not today.
I'm not used to that even here because the worst thing we had back home was you get your ass kicked by a deer. Like, we didn't have anything dangerous. Like, there was no bears. Like, very rarely would you see a bear, and very rarely would you see a fucking wild cat. But like, that's it.
Bears were going to stores to get chips.
Yeah, I seen it firsthand. We've talked about it on here. Fucking bear walked right across the street in the middle of town, walked right into a fucking store, door wide open. I was like, man, I hope they know what's going on.
It's Gatlinburg. They get that.
The clerk behind the counter's like, well, I think it's time for me to go home.
Oh, Bartholomew, here's a bag of Cheetos. You just give it to him and he walks out. See you tomorrow. I don't know.
That's what I want to name my bear. Yeah, then we get to the shit part. And I literally had in my notes, did we really need to hear the plops? I guess so.
It's like the greasiest shit ever, dude.
Yeah, I like
really uses you'd have seen fish food. I mean,
that's true. Yeah, that's what triggered the diarrhea.
Fish food and donuts is not exactly a healthy diet. So.
No, that triggers the diarrhea real quick.
I would think so.
But then he gets up, doesn't wipe, as Dan said, and he goes to the door. It's okay. He dies like literally immediately.
Yeah, but you're gonna die with like shitty cheeks, and you got that. I don't know, man.
It's Harold's problem. Fuck Harold.
Yeah.
Well, he does get underwear could have doubled his fucking ass wipe. It's like this big fucking. Just turn it inside out.
Look, the dude's wearing a wood plate on his chest, covering a blood pack. He doesn't have time to wipe his ass. He probably can't even reach with all that shit there. No pun intended.
I love the pillow piece of wood that's underneath his shirt that you could clearly tell. It's like, all right, that's fine. It's like we needed something for the knife to go into and actually stay and not fall.
All right, got a cut. Okay. Like just had like a film cut scene change when that happened. Like, ching.
No 3D. Whoa! I don't think that scene wasn't even in 3D, but we do get a 3D mouse. We get the mouse on the machete or whatever is like sticking out of the wall. It's like terrifying. Yep. And then Edna gets it. She gets the sewing needle right through her face. It's not.
Oh yeah, it goes out.
Does that?
back
I
of
don't
her
think
head.
that was. I don't think that was 3D.
They were trying.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
because it goes through Jason's fingers and towards the camera.
No, it
No,
wasn't like
it is a
directly
3D
at the
thing.
camera, so it was kind of weird. It was kind of hard to tell. For one, the sewing needle was dark.
Yes.
I was always impressed that he could push a sewing needle through someone's face and between his fingers without impaling his own hand. Not that he would really feel it impaling his hand, more than likely, but the fact that he got it from the back of the head to between the fingers, that's pretty impressive.
That is
precision. That's all I can think of. I don't fucking know.
So we meet our teens, or teens, as I like to say, because all these people don't look like teenagers. They look like they're 25. Which, to be honest, they probably. I feel like these aren't teens. Like I feel like they're never portrayed as like they're in high school. It's everybody seems like they're either in college or just hanging out.
I get like a very early, very late teens vibe, or very early 20s, very late teens vibe.
Yeah,
like 19, 20,
It's got,
21.
I always
like
got
that.
18 to 20 so that you could justify all the sex and nudity that comes with a lot of
Yes.
these movies.
That's true.
exactly. We meet Chris. She will be our final girl for this movie, and
Hi, Chris.
she talks about how she had an experience at the lake. Not a good experience either, but that's kind of all that happens. It's like, it's okay. It was 2 years ago. I should be okay. Yeah, well, she's not okay.
I'll make it.
We have horny teens
she
because you
starts
have to have
okay.
those. Yeah, she starts okay. We have the horny teens, which you have to have that. It's not a Friday the 13th movie without that.
Which fortunately we get
Teenagers
fairly early on,
without that.
right? Fairly early on, we find out that she's pregnant.
Which is such a throwaway thing.
It's mentioned twice in the movie,
Nah.
and I'm like, okay, well at least you don't got to worry about knocking her up. You've already did the deed.
But also, why are we including this in this movie? Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't
don't know.
play into anything. That's what I don't.
means
That's what I don't care about. Like, we don't need to include the fact that she was pregnant, and then we also don't need to include the thing that happened to Chris. What does that lead to? Nothing. Other than she's like, oh shit, that's the guy, and it's like, but why are we making Jason this person? It doesn't make sense.
No, I know.
But also,
I kinda-
like,
I-
to be honest, the pregnancy thing bothered me more because I'm like, it doesn't lead to anything. Like, the thing is the dad, who I'm guessing is this guy, who is what was his name again?
Oh.
What was the boyfriend's name? Andy.
Sure.
Yeah,
Looks like a douche.
he doesn't even act like he knows. Like, there's no indication from him that he's like, I can't wait to be a dad. Like, put some dialogue in there. That's like he's excited to be a dad, like all this and that. And then it's like they die, and then you're sad about it. But instead, it's just like, I'm pregnant. Oh, okay, cool.
I'm already going to take a guess that I'm the one here that actually likes this movie a lot, and I forget that she's pregnant in the movie, so it really doesn't matter. Like, it's
Well, that's the
just a
thing is you do
throwaway
forget because she says it, and then nothing goes with it, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah,
And then you go to
doesn't
talk
matter.
about it, and you're like,
Whatever.
oh, that's right. She did say she was pregnant.
Whatever. Who cares?
Oh.
I think it's just we'll talk about it later when we do, like, I don't know, the fucking main girl, her backstory. And but I think it's all just a ploy to weaponize shit against Jason for what the original intent of what this movie was
Oh,
supposed
what?
to be,
Oh,
I think.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I can still say it's stupid.
It's whatever.
You're not wrong.
We meet Shelly, who will be a character.
Hi, Shelly.
He's a prankster. He's I'm gonna call in
The
my notes.
everyman of the Friday the 13th franchise. He's the person that we should all
everyman?
aspire to. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Words that were said by John on the show. Shelly,
he might be pregnant. I don't know.
he might be.
He could be.
No, his description in my notes was sad boy. He is just the sad boy of this movie because everything is just like, I can't get anybody. I don't have any friends. I can't get a girlfriend. I'm too fat to go skinny dipping. Which I'm like, you're not that big, dude. Like, what is going on here with these people?
Dude, by 2025 standards, he's like what I aspire to. So
Yeah, he is me. Like, I feel like I am probably the same size as him right now. I mean, I do slightly consider myself fat, but I guess that was the fat kid back then. I don't know. But
times have changed.
right. So they're picking up a girl named Vera, who I just like this random exchange between her and her mom because she's Spanish. She's just like, they're just yelling at each other in Spanish. And she comes out. She's like, yeah, everything's fine. Let's go. She's like, oh, all right. I guess we're going to go. I guess everything's cool. And then we meet the stoners. I can't remember their
Gooby and
names.
Shaggy.
Yeah.
Strong and chili.
Yes, there you go. And they're just hotboxing the van, which I love that they think it's on fire. I was like, did you not realize? Were they not back there the whole time? Like you didn't know they were smoking it up back there? Nope, I guess not.
Like you couldn't smell that from a mile away.
Right.
Oh, fuck, dude. Like, what is that? Did you run something over?
So they are on their way to the lake. They're going to her lake house or something like that. And the cops, they have cops behind them. And then they have this whole thing, very Super Troopers like, where they're like, we got to get rid of the weed. We got to throw it out. It's like, oh. And then this is where we get they offer the joint to the pregnant girl. And she's like, sorry, I can't. I'm pregnant. And it's like, oh, okay. And then
Just being responsible.
the one guy, yeah. And then the one guy eats
Andy
it all.
jumps for it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Chong eats it all. Andy jumps for it. Then Chong starts eating it because of the cops.
Yeah. But then they pull over because they're thinking they're getting pull over. I can't pull over any farther.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to sit here and watch you smoke the whole bag.
Oh, please. No. Schnozberries taste like schnozberries. So the cops weren't for them. They drive right by him. And then, of course, like Chuck's like, son of a bitch. Just ate all that weed. But we also have
It's a shame that never. It's a shame that never catches up with him. Like I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes after he eats like 4 pounds of weed. Yeah, exactly.
I haven't blinked in 2 hours. Help!
He should have been catatonic for pretty much the rest of the movie, and he also takes a shit. So I mean, maybe that's all that happens.
That would have been great if he was, and he just at the end of the movie comes to an end, and he wakes up, and he's like, "Oh,
it was all a dream."
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't a dream. He just like Jason
he survived because he was sleeping the whole time.
Because he was, they just assumed like this.
Jason has rules. He doesn't kill you when you're sleeping. That's Freddy's job.
Yeah, that's true. He's like, this isn't my area.
He's like, you got to be awake. If I see your eyes open, you're fucked.
Yep.
Better keep those eyes closed. It's like, was it one of the Friday the 13th where there's like Jason like wanders through the, oh no, it was the original when Mrs. Voorhees is walking through one of the cabins and there's a bunch of little kids sleeping. It's like, they don't kill.
Oh yeah.
They don't kill kids. They don't kill you when you're sleeping. There's rules.
Wait till they're a little bit older. Come on.
And one of those rules gets broken in this movie, and I'm glad that they just completely ignore it for the rest of the franchise. It's like, no, Jason does not need to do this. It's a stupid thing. So they drive by the shop and they see Edna and Harold's bodies getting thrown into the back of the ambulance. I love these guys. I love cops in these movies where they're just so nonchalant. It's like, hey, yeah, we got to go. Let's go help them out with the ambulance. It's like,
because that's just their job.
Yeah. I mean, it could be
like how they progressively get dumber as the franchise goes along.
I mean, we get one of the best morgue scenes in the next entry. So,
yeah, it's good.
I'm very excited for that one.
With exercise videos?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. It's good stuff.
So they're driving to the lake, and there's a dude just laying in the road. And I called him fake Crazy Ralph. And he gets up, and he's like, you all are so nice. He's like, I'm going to warn you. And then he whips out this thing, and they're like, what's that? And he's like, eyeball to the camera, 3D eyeball. Even though it looks like cotton, like just a bunch of cotton.
It does look kind of like a used tampon. So.
It does. I was wondering, because they showed a dead rabbit on the side of the road. I was like, did he take the eye from the rabbit? Is that like real? I don't know.
He was busy warning people. He doesn't have time to care about where he gets the eye from. He has to go warn these Utes.
This is David Wiley. He would later show up in a movie called Society.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah.
Gross.
So we again get the fake out where the theme starts to play like Jason's going to attack somebody, and then it's not Jason again. Because it's them showing up to the cabin, and it's Rick inside looking out the window, but you clearly know it's not Jason, but they're still playing his theme. Like, when did Jason start wearing like long sleeve plaid shirts?
He's looking dapper.
I wish it was him. I wish he just had this crazy look. He's like, it's not me. I do need something to cover this face, though. Got to find that. That's the most important thing.
It would be funny if they put Jason in a really nice cardigan and just put it over his shoulders, kind of like Rick does.
Yep.
Why? I never understood why people do that. It's So goofy.
It's for warmth.
It's it. Okay. How about just
Is
wear
the
it?
summer?
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, we never know what season it is because a lot of times these movies weren't filmed in the season that they take place. Hence Tremors.
Yep. This movie was as well. Apparently it was filmed in like January.
Yep.
February.
As were most of the Friday the 13th movies. They were filmed in like the colder seasons. Like we talked about in part 2.
You got to have them ready for fall. So.
Yeah.
Do it where it's warm.
Please. We're in California now. So
Great. Northern California.
Yeah. It's a little cold there. So they get there. Chris goes into the house and gets full on assaulted by Rick. Like he literally like grabs her, pins her to the wall, and just starts sticking his tongue down her throat. And I was like, I get it's your boyfriend or whatever, but golly, I would have knocked him in the nuts.
The fuck is it? The 1950s again? What the hell?
Hey, he deserves to get knocked in the nuts because he basically after that is like, I could have been like fucking Betty and Sally and whoever. Like he basically lists off all these other women that he could be like buried in. Instead, he's like, I'm here with you, shoveling hay around.
And she's literally just like, oh wow, I feel so special that you chose me over those other women. Like,
Oh, go get them.
it's like what kind
It's
of
not a compliment, dude.
what kind of conversation is this? You find out that it's been 2
Hey, that works,
years.
man.
Yeah, that's true. You find out it's been 2 years since the incident that you have yet to find out what it is. And she's like, I feels like it's been way longer than that. Okay. 2 years is
24
quite a bit.
hours, like something happened yesterday in this movie time.
And then you get this weird line from Rick where he's like, you don't even say hello. I'm like, you attacked her. You assaulted her when she walked through the door. Isn't that a hello enough? Psycho. I don't like Rick, like at all in this movie. He's like one of the worst characters. He's worse than the bikers.
He's like
Paul
Holt if he was like if he wasn't the quarterback of the football team.
Yeah, Paul Holt was cool. I like Paul Holt.
Paul Holt was cool.
For one, his name is Paul Holt.
Paul Holt.
And that's how you have to say his name every time.
Yep, have to.
So, yeah, you get Rick is really horny, and I get it. Like, if you're in a long-term relationship, at some point you want to get some, but like, bro, she literally has told you that she had an experience that like she's not ready for. So you either gotta wait or maybe have that sit down and be like, listen, maybe we should move on from each other. This just isn't working out. Okay. And I get it. You shouldn't.
It's not you, it's me.
You shouldn't primarily break up with somebody because you're not getting any. But like Rick, the way you're going about it, not the right way. Not good.
Oh, but in her case,
But then he takes off his
it's not me, it's you.
Yeah, exactly. But then he takes off his shirt. I'm like, damn, Rick, you built, bro. Fucking hucking that hay.
Well, he's busy banging all these other chicks and throwing hay around. That builds you up.
Yeah, he's like, I could have been sleeping with freaking Jody, Phillips or whatever the hell her name was. And
Goodbye,
it's like,
go
yeah, I would have been like, peace, dude. Like, I'm not missing out on anything.
Right.
So, yeah, Shelly does another prank because that's all Shelly does in this movie is prank people. And then it gets to the point where even when it's not a prank, people are like, oh, Shelly, stop it. But then this is where we get the whole thing where they're like, why aren't you down by the lake? They're all swimming down there. He's like, I'm too fat to go skinny dipping. Or I'm not skinny enough for skinny dipping. And I was like, sad boy.
They said they were going skinny dipping. Yeah, I'm not skinny. So I'll just put a fake axe in my head.
Yeah. I'm just going to be sad boy the whole time. No one likes me. But yeah, I'm going to do the craziest pranks. Like, they're not even simple. Like, he is like he has all these planned out. He's like, these are what I'm going to do all weekend. He wasn't just thinking about
Shelly.
that.
DeweyPodmonster still likes you.
Oh.
40 years later, and I'm still sticking up for him.
And we find out that the horny couple, they get a hammock bed, which will come into play later. But it's like, really? This house just has hammock beds? Like, it's not even a bed. Like, I would never want to sleep in a full night in a hammock. No, thank you. I'll take a nap.
Like for an afternoon nap, yeah.
I'd rather sleep on the floor. I would rather just like, you guys got blankets? Like, I'll just lay a blanket on the floor. I'm good. No thanks.
We have a hammock. You can use it as a blanket if you choose.
It's got holes. It won't keep me warm.
It depends what kind of hammock.
It's your
you can
problem.
have
That's
solid
my
hammock.
problem. It is my problem. But if it's not my house, it's your problem because you got to figure it out.
I'm sorry, I'm busy shoveling hay. I don't have time for your holy blanket conundrum. So
I'm shoveling hay for horses I don't own, but someday I might. That was a whole
Where
thing.
are the animals?
There's none. But he gets all
They
this hay
build them
because he
time.
says, is like, yeah, my dad buys all this hay because at some point he wants to get horses, but he just keeps buying the hay with no horses. I was like, stop buying the hay. Stop. You can easily get hay when you get a horse. You don't have to buy it like ahead of time. I don't know, unless there was a hay shortage in New Jersey. What are we doing?
it can go bad, does it? I don't really know.
It does mold
It does.
after a while. Yeah.
Breaks
Okay.
down, and
So you just don't get it. You just save it for people who actually will use it.
that's a good idea.
Again, from Detroit, we have hobos. We don't have hay. So
It's the same thing.
same thing.
Hay and
Just shovel it
hobos.
around.
Interesting.
They shovel it. The city shovels them around. They end up decomposing in
Yeah.
gutters. Same shit.
Getting moldy. So
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Street trash.
So, yes. Just eat,
but then you get liquor. So
That's fair.
eat some moldy hay.
Or-
It turns you into gooey monsters.
Or
Yeah.
chud.
Chud.
Also about homeless people.
True.
that's true. And it has like half the Home Alone cast.
That's weird.
I know, right?
So weird.
It's like that's what Kevin McAllister's dad was up to.
I mean,
I guess.
I keep watching him. I keep watching
Daniel
every
Stern
time I
is in
watch
that
him. I'm
too,
like, well, yeah. Every time I watch him, I'm like, at least the Wet Bandit got a shower before he left the house. This guy just looks filthy. He's running a soup kitchen. So
Dude, when I see, what'd you say? Daniel Stern's his name,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. When
I always
see
call him
in that-
David Stern, and then I realize that's the NBA commissioner from a decade ago. So
Fair. I can't. No offense to him because I love the guy to death, but I can't help but think of Sean from Movie Dumpster every time I see him in that movie. I'm just like, Sean. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. Just who
I mean,
think
him
of.
and Joe dressed up as the Wet Bandits, and it was like pretty good. It was like they looked exactly like the characters. Like
That's
Joe
fair,
did a
that's
pretty
fair.
good Joe Pesci. So
Spot on.
we hear screams from the house. They go in. They're like, "What the hell's going on?" They Chris opens up the cabinet. Who is it? Oh, Shelly with a freaking axe in his head, and he falls out. And the thing is like they find him. He falls. He lays there for a good like 2 minutes as everyone is reacting. Like, I love Rick's first reaction is, "Chris, we got to get the hell out of here." Like they're just gonna leave him. Are
Fuck
they gonna
him.
get
He'll
help?
be fine.
Well, if he's dead, he's dead. He's got an axe in his head.
they heard the news, and they should just get the fuck out of there.
That is true.
They start burning the cabin down. Like, there's like gasoline. Woof. It was just a joke, guys. Woof.
Shelly comes out with the shirt on fire. God, that prank didn't go very well.
They just push him back inside the house. Let him burn with it. Like, we don't know what happened to him.
He was
Must
dead
have
the
been
whole
sleeping.
time.
It was that guy Joshua. He came by here. So
Yeah. The only one who doesn't fall for it though is Andy, because he walks up to him and tickles him, which gets him out of it, and everybody he's laughing, but no one else is laughing. Chris is pissed, and this is where I think Rick's like, "Your friends suck, by the way. Like, I don't like your friend. Like, why did you bring him here? Like, especially this one guy. Like, what is he doing? Just causing so much problems." And because then right after
always that one guy in the group.
but the thing is
Every
about
group
Shelly,
has that guy.
okay? Listen, I would like Shelly more if he just continued to do like when he gets caught doing the prank and everybody's giving him shit, like just own up to it. Instead, he turns into sad boy again, like no one likes me. Everybody just mean to me. I don't have any friends. I was like, well, stop doing this stupid shit. And I like how Vera tells him that later. She's like, I like you, but not when you're doing this dumb shit. That's the only way people like me. Like, no one likes you when you do it. So what are you talking about? Shelly's logic is non-existent.
No, not at all.
So,
No, but he believes in safe sex, so he's got
does.
that going for him.
yeah.
He does. He is safe. That's correct.
I do love when Vera's like, I got to get the hell out of here. Can I borrow your car, Rick? And he gives her the keys and they go out and Shelly runs up and he's like, can I go with you? I really want to go with you. And she's like, she just drives away. But then she stops farther up and then he runs and he's got that like goofy little run that he with those tight ass pants. Like he is like He says he's fat, but he's like wearing those form hugging clothes, and I'm like, clearly you're proud of something there, Shelly. He's got some junk in his trunk there.
He ain't wearing no
Shelly
husky
packing
jeans.
back there, man. And I just love how Rick just stores his car in the barn. Like, okay, sure.
I like how he just gave it to some fucking rando.
It's like, yeah,
here,
we
drive
just
it.
met 30 seconds ago. Here's my car.
Yeah, Rick, fix your fucking tail light. The left one's out, you dipshit.
That is true. So,
I mean, they were going to get food and stuff. He probably just wanted, whatever they brought back.
true.
Yeah, he's like, just go do it. I don't want you here.
So yeah, they go to the grocery store or to this to a store, and the freaking cashier, she's fucking brutal, man. It's like going to pay for it. It's like,
Racist.
we don't take no goddamn food stamps. And she's like, oh, okay. Hey Shelly, I need your wallet. And that's when you get the 3D like wallet through.
Racist, man. Racist.
And
she's Hispanic.
Is that why she gets okay?
I've heard
No, I'm
that.
serious. I think
I've heard
that's
people
why.
say that before. I've heard
Yeah.
people claim that there's a little bit of subtle racism to that comment. I never picked up on it, but I don't think I'm the right demographic to pick up on it. So
That's what
I
I've
can
heard
see
too.
where people are coming from with it. I have heard. You're not the first person I've heard say that, though.
The funny thing is you like these bikers are in there, and of course the whole thing is he throws the wallet, is on the ground, and then Fox steps on it, picks it up, and then it's like takes the condom out of there and has to say, was this your rubber? Which I guess the
I love how
actress did
inclusive
not.
this gang of bikers are.
Yeah, we have because we have Fox, we have Ali, and we have Loco. Which Loco you don't see at first. You don't see him until I think a little later. He's
He's in
just
the background.
Is he in the background? I think I missed
he's
him because I think it was like
background.
mostly they focus on Fox and Ali because Ali's the one who's outside when they go outside to leave, and Shelly is, in the car, and he accidentally backs into their bikes, and he just throws whatever he's holding down. He's got the chain, and then you get this whole thing where Shelly drives straight at him and stops and just sits there. Back up, bro. Get the fuck out of there.
Drive through him. Drive through him. He's just another murderer in a state or a city that's had like 9 of them in the last 24 hours. Go through the dude.
It's a normal situation in this part of town. But he does the whole thing where he
I think
stops.
in the big scheme of things, a little vehicular manslaughter is like nothing compared to everything else that happened the day before.
They just
Very
group
true.
it together.
Yeah.
It's all in the same area.
I mean, yeah, he could, like you're saying, he could have gone through, but like also there's so much space. He could have just drove around and drove away.
Yeah, well, that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But
instead, we had to get him being tough. He literally runs over the guy's bike again after he gets it. And that kind of, I think, is the whole thing where like Vera is like, oh, maybe I do like this kid.
Yeah, he does brave boy stuff, almost
Yeah.
murdering people.
Yeah. I do like, though, that while they're. Go ahead.
I like how he runs over a motorcycle with a VW bug like that. That's going to do more damage to the bug than the motorcycle, but whatever.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
I didn't say he shouldn't do it. I'm saying it would do
it's
more damage.
I do love while
I
they're
don't
getting
disagree.
picked on in the store, though, the theme is playing. It's the only time like the theme is playing over a scene in the movie. Because you either have it in the opening credits and then it gets played again at the end. I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is an interesting touch to this just random bullying scene at the store. We're
Makes
back.
sense.
Yeah, we're back at the house and we get more 3D. We got yo-yos. Whoa. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where there's like just random dialogue that the girlfriend has to say a bunch of times while he's doing it. And it's just like, okay, we get it. We can stop yo-yoing now. She's like, I'm going to get that. I'm going to cut that string. Stop that. Don't do that. And I'm like, oh my God, please end. Let's move on to the next scene. So the bikers show up and they siphon the gas out of the van. And they're
With a lit cigarette in their mouth.
Yes. Ali has a
Ali
lit cigarette in
calls
his
him out
mouth.
on the.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's Loco that has it, isn't it?
But
Just
does
Loco.
Ali not have a cigarette
Loco-
in his mouth
Loco
while
has-
he's
no.
siphoning?
No, Loco has a cigarette in his mouth the entire time until he dies.
Oh.
Well, because Ollie sees him with it while he's trying to siphon the gas. He's like, "Come over here." He's like, "No," because he's gonna do it. And then Loco comes up. He's like, "I know how to do this." And he takes a cigarette out of his mouth and flicks it. out of Loco's mouth. It's like, you don't do it while you're fucking siphoning gas, you dipshit.
What? Why not?
I mean,
That sounds
it's
like a
safe.
great idea. Open
It could've made a
flame
cool
near
effect.
gasoline. Yes, that would have been great. Just imagine that. Like that's all it leads to is just them blowing themselves up.
No, the van.
Jason's in the background like, son of a bitch. I was looking forward to killing all three of them.
Yep. Shit.
I worry about that every day at work.
I'm not
Oh,
complaining about what happens to him, but it would have been pretty funny if they had just had a random dumbassery van explosion.
Just straight up comedy. Like, nope, no one saw that coming. But here we are. So I love Jason just peeking out from places until he gets the mask. He's like in the barn. He's just like, all right,
Peeking,
those three
peek,
dead.
peeking through
All
the
right,
glory
bye.
hole.
Goes back. Just an eye.
Well, two of them are
He
dead.
gets poked
One
in
of
the
them's
eye. Oh
really
God!
dead.
That's why you never
have
put
that-
your eye up to a glory hole.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, so speaking of which, we're at work. I gotta say this.
Whoa.
We're at work. Hold on, this is relevant. So we're at work and we're standing there, and there's like a pole, but there is a piece of painting tape about face height. And I'm like, why is this here? And I'm like, I go to peel. There's nobody painted anything. It's just a square. And I was like, I bet you peel it off, and it's the glory hole to Narnia. But the dick comes from Narnia, not because it's head height. Who the fuck's tall enough to use it the other way?
What's James McAvoy's character's name in Narnia? It's like
No.
fucking Plumpkin or something like that. I don't remember.
I have no idea. I just want to make this weird. This is literally a conversation we talked about at work. But wouldn't Jason's, if
Things
he's
y'all talk
looking
about.
through, wouldn't need to be like one lower than the other?
Well, he's only looking
Like-
through one. You just be
But I'm
one
just saying,
eye.
if you had him,
Yeah, he had to drill.
Just tilt his head.
whatever, that works.
Had
That's
to
true.
drill
That's true.
uneven holes in the wall.
He'd have weird glasses.
Hey.
Join the club. That's what we do.
Man, I just love that they're supposed to be sneaking around trying to burn this barn down and cause chaos with these random people. And Fox is in there exploring the barn and then it just randomly starts swinging on the rope like wee. Like, where is everybody? No one's hearing this?
Nope, nobody.
All
heard a
right.
damn
Nope.
thing.
Sure. But then you get the cool shot where you see her swinging and then he looks away for a second, looks up, she's gone.
Yeah,
And
which is cool.
He's got to explore. And this is where we get, the visual of her being pinned up to the beam by the pitchfork. And then then Jason stabs Loco with another pitchfork.
Loco.
Yeah. And I love that you can see the padding for this one too. Because it even shows the back where they actually had to insert a back piece that had just the tips of the pitchfork showing. And Ali, he's like, what the hell is everybody doing? We're supposed to be burned down this barn. And everyone just disappears. So he then goes into the barn, but he's got the gasoline. And I literally put my notes. He gets locoed because Loco just drops from the ceiling and lands on him. Dude, that's gotta hurt, man. All that dead weight just falling on you from like a good 10, 15 feet. Yeah, you're not just getting up from that. You're just like, well, I think I broke something. Something is definitely broken here.
Yep.
And he gets attacked by Jason. Jason just hops down from that top level, and this is where we get the machete. Because
Superhero landing.
Yep. Ali grabs the machete and he goes into the horse stall. And Jason, man, the dude, for being so big, is so quiet. Because he lands on the one side, which is where Ali goes and checks first. But yeah, he's behind him. Like in that other corner, like, haha, you didn't see me there, bitch. And just like, watch out. But also beats him pretty
Literally
well.
is.
I don't know what does he have in his hand that he hits him with?
I didn't.
This looks like a hunk of wood to me.
I
hits
didn't
him
quite catch.
a good amount of times. I'm like, I feel like he's got blunt force trauma and he's probably gonna die. But no,
He definitely gets a really good nap.
Yeah,
not nice.
he's tough.
It's
He's
like
tough.
any other movie where just like one hit to the back of the head, just like good night.
Instant death,
Yeah.
or knocked unconscious.
No, it's just
or you
just
fall.
knocked unconscious. It's mostly like punches. Those are the funniest ones. The dude just punches a guy. He's just like death.
Or when you punch, or they do that in Blazing Saddles, where he punches out the horse.
Great
It's
horse
great.
acting right there. Best horse
Yep,
acting you'll
top
ever
tier.
see.
Yep, eat shit, Mr. Ed.
We also get the shot where they look out where Jason looks out the window and he sees Andy and Debbie walking up because they just went swimming, and Andy's doing like a handstand, and then he like stands up and he looks directly at Jason, but nothing. It's like he doesn't see him because he's just like standing there staring, and he's like, "Oh, wait for me, Debbie. Yeah, wait up."
And this is where Drax got that ability.
Where things go over his head.
No, where he stands perfectly still.
Oh, so nobody can see him.
Yeah, that's it. That's 100% it.
It's vision space
like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, like a T-Rex.
We get a conversation between Rick and Chris that's just continuing to show that Rick sucks. Where he's like, I need to get my dick wet. What is going on? She's like, I am not ready for this. And he's like, I just want to break through. And I was like, really, bro? You're trying.
Let's be more direct about it. Why
yeah.
So.
Then he's like, oh no, my car, it died. Must have been the battery. I did charge it. Oh no, I guess we're gonna have to walk back. Okay, Rick. Like this wasn't planned. You son of a bitch.
Not subtle at all.
Oh. We're back at the cabin, and Shelly and Andy are juggling. And the only reason Shelly wins is because Debbie's like, let's go have some hammock sex. And he's like, whoa, I guess you win, Shelly. It's all you, buddy.
Yep. Enjoy your apples.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Shelly's like, I think I should go talk to Vera because I think after our little adventure at the grocery store today, I think we got a thing going on. So he tries to hit on her. First thing he does is he checks her out. And then he asks if, like, he pretty much asks her if she was interested. And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, I'm sad now. I'm sad, boy. Shelly.
And then this is where she's like, hey, give me a minute and then we'll talk. And then she walks out and he's like, ugh, bitch.
Yeah, like what the fuck, dude? Like
you're a top tier piece of shit.
Yeah,
dude.
like to be honest, I feel like I remember Vera being so much worse in like prior viewings of the movie, but then I was watching it today and I was like, she's not that bad. She's not like completely like shutting him down. She's just like, no, not right now.
She's
talk.
mostly like, stop acting like an idiot and I'll blow you. But he's,
but again,
doing his thing.
He's got to do his pranks. Also, I was just getting annoyed that he was messing with that fire. I'm like, bro, that fire is blazing pretty good. You can leave the fuck alone. You don't have to keep poking at it. Oh, I wonder if I could get the coals to burn more. It's like, dude, the thing is huge. Leave it alone.
Fairness to Shelly, he's really committed to his craft, and some people respect that.
All right, I guess. I guess in Shelly's defense, I guess this is his passion. If this was like the thing was, he calls himself an actor earlier in the movie. Never comes up again. But I'm like, when he does the prank where he has the axe in his head, that's acting. Some of the other things isn't. It's just him being a jackass.
He said he was a good actor. He said he's an actor.
I mean,
true.
That is true.
And the only way he's going to get good is by practicing and repetition. So he's really just, if you think about it, he's method.
Oh, the worst kind. So the sex in the hammock happens. And I guess successfully, because she said that was like the best that they've had. And I was like, I just want to know the fundamentals of all that and how that works. That seems.
So does Andy. So
yeah.
How did we just do that? That was very I'm proud of myself. Pat on the back.
I'm surprised his back is not killing him. He's like,
it 100% is.
I mean, it gets there. Don't worry. It gets there shortly. So
just say it's about to really hurt. He's about to find out.
She says this is the best they've had, but it's probably the only they've had.
No, she's pregnant.
But does she say it's his?
I feel like we're just assuming it
stole
is. She could have stole it. I don't think that's how that works.
What?
Could be.
No way.
You've had 3 kids. You have to know how that works.
Wait, how does it work? Someone explain. No, I'm just kidding.
3. Listen, guys.
Do we need to explain?
First you go to Walmart
now?
Then you run.
Yeah, listen, I'm 3 for 3. So as far as I'm concerned, my experiences may not be many. They're always successful.
The odds are ever in your favor.
I said depends what your end goal is, but
I just wanted a back rub.
Listen, Linda. That's my line.
Oh God. Moving on. Chris finally tells Rick about the incident, and to be honest, I mean, how long have they been together? Probably, has it been long, you think? Has this been a
Are
long
they together?
relationship? Huh? Are they together?
Actually together?
I don't know. Who knows? He acts like they are. She kind of does. But she tells him about the incident, and we then get this weird flashback retelling of she got attacked by Jason 2 years ago.
Maybe.
So before part 2, when Jason didn't look anything like this. Jason had hair, by the way, in part 2, for anyone who wants to remember that. This
You
Jason
can grow hair out in 2 years. That's not that unbelievable. And then cut it off in one day. This is totally good storytelling. I don't know why you're trying to shit all over it.
because
Oh,
it
yes, it is.
deserves
Shake your
to
head.
be shit on because it's a stupid plot line of this goddamn movie. It's one of the worst parts of this movie is the fact that they were like, oh yeah, Jason, well she says she blacked out and she doesn't remember what happened after he attacked her, and you're supposed to insinuate that he raped her, and I was like, I don't like that for Jason. Like, listen, it's like weird to defend a psychotic killer, but it's like that's not Jason's forte. Like, he just likes to kill. That's just what he does.
Fun.
Like
You're right.
Like
It's also a franchise with a lot of hallucinations and things that didn't happen in it that come back and forth through
that
it.
is true.
I'm glad that they did. I'm with you. I'm glad they didn't pursue that angle more. Thankfully, that's just kind of this little throwaway scene and that's it. On the other hand, if you're really gonna spend the time to be like, why is this in here? Dude, we're like 10 minutes away from this movie really getting started. So let's just keep on going.
Oh, my thing was like, she blacked out and Jason's like, well, my rule is I don't kill when they're sleeping, and she looks like she's sleeping, I'm gonna go. So nothing happened. She blacked out. He's gone.
And she talks about he had a knife. Like, he didn't have a knife.
No, he was just like grabbing at her. Figured if he had a knife, he would have stabbed her. But
right?
I don't know.
Apparently, this plot line was allegedly more elaborate on the original idea, but they cut it out because they didn't like it. Because this was supposed to be the last movie, shocker, and they wanted to make it more like a piece of shit. He's murdering pregnant ladies and stuff like that, raping folks left and right. But they just like, that's kind of stupid. So they're like, no.
Yeah, they truly wanted you to hate Jason, but hey,
that worked out well.
Yeah, sure did. So fake Tommy Chong, he goes to take a poop, and I was like, is that Shrek's outhouse? Like, it looks exactly like the one Shrek, pops out of at the beginning of the titular movie Shrek.
Yes.
It's got the moon-shaped carving out of it. I just want to be the person who just walks up to that thing. Is like, hey, is anyone in there? As they're looking right into it, like a window. Excuse me. Are you done?
Don't forget to wipe.
Don't be like
he
Harold.
Doesn't sing.
This guy
doesn't sing and talk about enchiladas.
Oh boy. Oh, damn enchiladas.
Exactly. He's no Joanna, man.
So I will say this, because apparently you don't like part 5 from the sounds of it. Or not a fan of it.
I mean, in the big scheme of things, it's a Friday the 13th movie, so it's one of the like 12-ish best movies on the planet. But in the like franchise, it's lower.
Yeah, I love 5. Like, I used to hate it, and then like I watched a video that gave me a new perspective on the movie, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it now. I don't like the fact that Jason's not in it, but like I actually like the throwaway characters more than I do in most of these movies. So. Even Enchilada guy.
I mean, I feel like this is a whole franchise built on throwaway characters, and I'm here for it. Oh, it's true. So,
no, nothing wrong with that.
We do get a fun line, though, that kind of fits the scene where he's on the shitter and he takes a pull from the joint, and he's just like, heavy shit. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. Good one, bro.
What if it was a laxative? What if weed was just a laxative? It just made you shit inside out.
And I would be not on this recording at the moment.
Oh, God. It just runs away to the bathroom.
It's like after
leave the microphone on just in case.
You just hear it in the background.
Hear the plopping.
It's like somebody throwing mud at a steel walls.
I went to
trying to add some realism to this.
I went to a wedding one time where the priest preacher whatever didn't turn his microphone off, and he went and had to go pee. He's like, oh. You can hear him from the bathroom.
When he did
I was
it,
like,
did he
"That's
scream, "The
not-"
power of Christ compels you"?
No, but it would have been funnier if he did.
Take this.
If I was a
sinners.
priest, I would use that line constantly for all kinds of things that are not necessary.
Yep.
I just start
Like you get a
yelling at
ticket from a
randomly.
police officer. Start yelling
yeah.
like, "This man's possessed. He's the devil."
Just start.
I would go out in my full like priest get up and be like, "I need an old priest and a young priest," and just start. It would be bad. I'd be kicked out pretty quickly.
I just start like the cop walks up to the window. I'm just got tubular bells blasting on my. Yes, can I help you?
Yes.
You have to have a hat. Like,
Do you know how fast you were going, sir?
Speed
666
of Christ.
was the last one I saw. And I was like, oh my God. It's
we're
impossible.
going to an exorcism. If I don't get there quick, this child might not make it.
Oh, so many good
you could even
excuses.
you could pull from so many movies. You'd be like, "I'm on a mission from God," and they might actually believe you. So
Yeah,
That's true. So Shelly pranks Vera, and this is where she's like, I would have liked you if you just didn't do this shit. And again, immediately he gets called out and then turns into, oh, well, whatever. I'm just going to go sit on this bench and look sad and look back at you as you sit on the dock. And
scuba gear.
Shelly.
An Eeyore dumbass little. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
But this is where we see the mask. He has the mask. And he goes and investigates the barn. And then it goes to the next scene. So Vera finds Shelly's wallet, and inside the wallet is a picture of Shelly and his mom. So you're like, oh, what a good guy. He's got a picture of him and his mom in his wallet. But then she drops it in the pond, and I was like, no respect for other people's property. I mean, I get it. Shelly isn't the greatest person, but at least respect his wallet. What are you doing? It was an accident. Sure it was. Then she goes to...
It was a very plot-based accident. We had to get her near the water.
She was so far over, though. She was on that dock, and where she ends up is on the other side of that little spot.
The tide had clearly came in this clear, in this, hand-dug pond that they made.
Tide's really wicked today, guys. It's just like somebody in a board
just still
making waves.
Literally still.
You can see him off frame, just kind of, batting down, with a big board, just smacking the water, trying to get something moving. So
Yep.
So she looks up and she sees somebody walking on the dock, and it's got the mask on, so she thinks it's Shelly. And she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. I got it right here. And she's like, oh.
It's Shelly, but he's a solid 2 feet taller and clearly not Shelly.
Well, it all clicks at one point where she's like,
taller.
You're not him. Who are you? And the whole time Jesus is like, I love how he has to hide behind the pole to steady his aim. Shoots the harpoon right into her face.
The last thing he says to her is, "We don't accept food stamps." He just shoots her in the eye. What the fuck? What?
I love how he walks away though, because he shoots her in the eye, he kills her. That's fine, and he just walks away like he just skipped a stone off the dock, and was like, "All right, I'm gonna go in and make a s'more or something." He's so nonchalant about it, and it's just fucking great.
It made me laugh this time around, where I always complained about it. I was like, he just and then he looks up at the house. He's like, I smell sex. I smell
like sex in
teenage sex.
Yes, I smell sex. Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
So,
I got the song stuck in my head.
After the hammock sex, she has to take a shower, and I love what he's like, "What are you doing? Taking a shower? You should try it sometime."
I think she's charming. I like her. She's great. She's witty. She likes little crackbacks that fucking Andy be a little bitch.
And the actress,
Reese Fangoria.
Yes, which had an article about Tom Savini and an article about the 25th anniversary of Godzilla. Shows how old this movie is. The funny thing was I stated earlier, she stopped acting after this movie and became a news lady, and she was just she was like, yeah, it was slightly embarrassing at first when people would find the clip of me nude in this movie, but then after a while it's just I would just watch it and admire it. Damn, I looked good back then.
I've seen interviews with her where she said literally every job, every station she worked at, she would get as soon as people realized who she was, she'd start getting fan mail at the station like daily because of this movie.
She deserves it.
Yep, she does.
Yeah, I'm not arguing it. So, and I also kind of hope that she has a business card that says "News Lady" on it.
That would be awesome. Yes.
That's what I mean, why wouldn't you?
Not journalist, not television anchor, news lady.
News lady.
Do you think I'm professional or something? Do I look like I'm professional?
Absolutely.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. She is a journalist,
podcaster,
news woman.
News lady. It's a better term.
News lady.
News lady.
That's
she
some dignity.
Plays with the news. She says the news.
No, it's lady. It's a term of endearment. It's a sound of respect. You know, like how you doing, girl? No, you refer to her as a lady.
How you doing, girl?
It's called being proper.
Hey, girl.
But this is when we get one of the most iconic kills in the series. To be honest, is
it's good.
Andy doing his handstands. He's walking through, and I love that Jason's kind of just pinned up against the wall, like
he doesn't see me.
Fuck is this?
He walks right back. And then we get the kill from the top where he it says he chops him in half, and it's like it doesn't look like that, but that's fine. He literally gets hit and he just turns into like a piece of rubber. Just
It's such a cool shot though, because they shoot it with him standing on a piece of plexiglass so they can get this awesome angle. And they must have mic'd the floor or something, because whatever they did and however much meat they dropped from wherever they dropped it to make this sound effect, it just gives this like super brutal, like really satisfying, like fuck this kid kill. And it's like I said, when I mentioned one of my favorites in the whole franchise, it's this kill. This kill is chef's kiss among slasher movie kills.
It's really good. It's not my favorite in the franchise, but it's really good.
It's up there. I'd have to really go through and watch all 12 movies and like make a list and like break it down. But it's one of the ones that it's like Mark in the second movie when he gets hit with the meat cleaver. It's one of those that just sticks.
Yep.
And
that's
it's always up there.
Turn around, Mark. Turn around. Is anyone here? Is anyone here? Turn your head.
Smack.
The brake. Hit the brake.
That would have been worse. He would have.
I still love watching that.
Could have started flipping backwards.
Still love watching that because you can see the guy the stunt person they put in that wheelchair. You can see him hanging on that chair for your fucking life.
And as far as I'm concerned, Mark is still rolling down them steps to this day.
He very well might be.
That's like the truck driver from the original Texas Chainsaw.
He is still driving.
Still running. Still going.
Yeah.
The man's like 80 now. Who's like, I can't move as fast, but I'm still getting caught today. Oh god, so good. But yeah, she discovers Andy's dead body because she's reading the Fangoria and blood starts dripping on her, and she looks up and see it. And the effect of dead Andy is also really good because you could see like him, he's just literally folded in half.
Very meaty.
Yeah, and very meaty.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
very meaty.
Be like, slabber some barbecue sauce, throw him on the grill. It looks pretty tasty. And then she gets a similar death to Kevin Bacon in the original, where Jason's underneath and stabs her through the chest. I guess it was so hot when they were filming the scene that it like caused the rubber to flex more than it should have, because it like the knife should have easily just gone through, but it was so hot that it couldn't break. So that's why it like comes out so far before the knife actually. I
kind of like that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of like that. I don't know what it looks like to stab someone with a machete, thankfully, but I kind of like that it looks all stretched out and like gnarly like that. I'm not saying it necessarily adds more realism to it, but it definitely differentiates it from the Kevin Bacon scene, and it does kind of give it a little bit like just a little bit more gruesome and a little bit more gnarly of a feel than what you get if it had gone through clean.
So we get more 3D. We get 3D popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. And I love this where they're like, oh, did you hear the screams? It's like, oh, it's probably Debbie having an orgasm. He's like,
yeah, it was good. It was good.
And Chuck's like, why don't you scream when we have sex? She's like, well, give me something to scream about then. I was like, yeah, got him.
That fucking hurts, dude. That hurts.
Got him.
It lands. It's a good line. It lands well.
No, it is. It is. But it's
the funny thing, the power goes out. He gets sent down to go check out the breaker, and I love he finds like a dirty calendar on the wall. Great. Nice.
I'm gonna rub one out to this. Fuck yeah.
So Chili's upstairs. She's prepping everything, and she hears a knock at the door, and it's Shelly, but she thinks it's a prank because that's all he's been doing the whole weekend. It's just pranking them. So she doesn't believe that he's actually dying as his throat slit. And
he's also been dying for like an hour at this point. So like,
how is he still alive?
Kind of in the right not to believe. Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the passage of time?
No.
Well, okay. So when we covered this movie, we made this point about the biggest problem with Shelly is not that he's a fucking goober. It's not that he's sad, as you call it. It's not all the other things that you can give him shit about. The biggest thing that sucks about Shelly is he's the character in the movie, outside of Rick and some of the other people that die that are pricks. He's the character that his death doesn't pay off. His death is an off, like whatever happens to him happens off screen. And then he just kind of goes in to Chili and is like, and, you know, takes a dirt nap on the floor. Like, it's very... not a satisfying kill. At least like the majority of the kills in this movie, they're kind of cool, they're kind of gnarly, they're gross, they're whatever. Shelly's is just like, okay.
Yeah. And that's
the
the
with
one
him being the I guess go ahead, sorry.
No, I would just say that's the one I would want to see the most. Like I want to see Jason
and I
kill
think
Shelly.
and I think if they had done that, and again, even if it was just them cutting his throat, because that's presumably what happens, even if that's all it was on screen, I think people would be less pissed off at Shelly as a whole because at least he got a cool death. This way, he just dies like a punk. So.
What if he was trying to make? I'm gonna do this joke, and it's gonna be like a realistic thing, but he like took it too far, and he ends up offing himself. It wasn't even Jason at all. Like, look at this dumb.
I would love that. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be so funny because that would have gotten to be like karmatic justice, I guess, because of how much he's fucked with everybody else doing that. So I don't know.
Or like if he did that and Jason thought he was already dead, then he got up and then killed himself somehow. So
yeah, there you go. I'd be down with that.
So the final like 25 minutes, or like I don't even know how much time is left of this movie, but like it's mostly Jason going on a killing spree because we then get Chili discovering, oh shit, Shelly's dead. Her boyfriend's dead in the basement, throw him against the panel there. He's dead. So
unfortunately, he doesn't have a line like "He's killing me. He's killing me."
He's killing me.
That's my favorite.
He's killing me.
No, we just get. Oh my god, Shelly's
I never really knew what was happening
dead.
because he doesn't announce it.
Yeah, but I love the casual walk around the house.
Right.
Oh my god, Shelly's dead.
You know what's great about when they do that is how the score cuts in because she'll say like Shelly's dead and then you'll hear the burp, 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 burp. She'll take 5 steps. Shelly's dead. Burp, 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 burp. And it continues like that until
Hey, remember Dini's in the booth like now. We got it. Perfect. Oh, she gets a hot poker to the stomach. It's a pretty gnarly kill, but like you don't really see much. You just see it kind of come out of her back. My favorite one of my favorite kills is coming up. This is where I determined, like we talked about it earlier, you're not coming into a Friday the 13th movie going, I am expecting pristine acting and plot and all of that. But Rick sucks. Rick is not like Rick's actor, not good, like even in the slightest. His line delivery is so wooden. It just took me out for a second. I was like, can we get back to like Chris or anyone else? Like Rick is just like, I'm going to go check outside. Hello? Anybody there? Shelly. I'm like, oh my God, dude, put some emotion behind your lines. And and the next thing that we see is him get his head squeezed and his eye just, boop. It's great. I do like the
eyeball for that homeless dude.
That is, yeah.
Oh, too.
Yeah. My favorite thing though is that Chris like walks out the door and she's like, Rick, but she doesn't like move. She just we just stand in one spot and just yell somebody's name and then just like, I guess he's not out here, and walks back in the house.
As Rick is dangling by his head directly next to her. So
getting choked out.
Yeah.
And then like she's scared, she's getting chased around, and then she goes outside and the body of Loco drops from the tree and she screams. And I'm like, she doesn't even know who this guy is. She never met this dude.
That's one of the best parts about it is you got to think she's like, the fuck was that? Like,
Who is that? That wasn't anyone I know. But then she starts discovering her friends. She finds Deb in the closet she's hiding in, and she actually looks like genuinely like concerned for her friend. Like that was her friend. But she does something that not a lot of final girls would do. Is they like, you see that Deb was killed with a knife to the back, and she takes that knife out, which is like something that I don't think happens a lot in these movies, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to take the murder weapon from my dead friend and go after this killer. And she actually stands up to Jason for a good amount of time. Like she gets him. She stabs him a couple times. I do love when
she does. You're skipping where Jason goes against his greatest enemy in all these films, which is Windows, and hurls Rick's dead ass at her right through the window.
Oh, like, that was great.
He's like, remember that scene in the original where he threw that dead body through? Yeah, we're gonna do it again. But instead, Jason's gonna be like,
they do it in every movie, and it's fucking great. Every movie, it's like every cabin has to have a giant ass window for as soon as you see that someone's going through that fucking window.
Yeah. I just love that he like pretty much walks up to the windows like, I'm here now. Time to play.
It's the one where he's like,
yeah,
like kind of chimpanzees in a little bit. So
yep.
Oh god. And yeah, it's pretty much her running around trying to escape him. I do like when he pulls the knife out of his leg after she stabs him and he fucking just throws it into the door. It's like, damn.
Yep.
So what the hell does this note makes no sense?
Is that a Q?
Yeah, what is that word? I don't know what that means. I don't know. We're gonna skip that.
Google Translate.
Test chat GPT.
She goes outside. This part annoyed me. She goes outside and just stands there, looks around, and doesn't just go straight for the van. She waits until Jason gets outside so that she can attack him again to then go to the van. I was like, no, just get.
What the score told her to do. She was listening to the cue from Harry Manfredini. So
boop, 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 boop.
Time to run.
Gotta go. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. What's the stop cue? What do I do then? Boop, boop, boop.
Right. Stop and look confused.
Oh. She gets to the van and she starts to go. And of course, we all know that there's no gas in it because of earlier. And she stops. Of course, the van dies right on this rickety bridge. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So she's going to get out. She's going to run away. No, she stays in there because there's a reserve tank. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, no gas? Flip. Reserve. But guess what? That goes nowhere because the van's starting to fall through the bridge. Wait, do these vans, Dan, have reserve tanks?
In theory. Because you could get them, because these vans were by the big three, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, were all based on full-size pickups, which you could purchase reserve tanks in. So in theory, yes, that was an actual thing. There'd be two filler necks. So yes, in theory, this is real.
All right. I physically laughed so loud when I saw her flick that reserve tank. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Dude, no, I'm like,
but I mean, if it's real, then I guess it's not as funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still funny.
It's
like, but
funny.
That's because it's not. It's that is like
it's funny because it doesn't work.
Yeah, but it also subverts your expectations because you would think, oh, I'm gonna get out of the vehicle because it's out of gas and run off, or stay in here and die. But she's like, nope. And then it's like Bridge is like, nope.
See you later.
Like, nope. I'm gonna use the reserve tank and still stay in here and try to die. So
yeah.
I do love, though, before we get to that part, and she's driving the little bit of road that she's able to, and Jason's just casually standing in the middle of the road and then just goes, oh, out of the way.
It's a barrel roll.
Nailed it.
So, yeah, we get the final barn fight. He gets his, this is, I think, the first time he actually uses a machete, right? Like, this is, like,
no, because he used it on What's-Her-Face in the hammock.
Oh, yeah, and he uses it on, what's his name, in the wheelchair.
Andy.
Yeah.
No, he used a meat cleaver on Mark in the wheelchair. Used it on Andy, though, when he hacks him down in the hallway doing his stupid handstand.
Right. You're right.
Yeah, gets
most of two, he has an axe.
Yes. It's been a while.
Or whatever else he can happen to find. So,
all I know is this barn fight is pretty awesome. I love how she just literally bonks him on the head with a shovel. All I could hear is bong! Like that cartoonish, like, head hit. He's like, oh.
See some birds.
I just wish it was like a
Walking around.
bonk. Yeah, yes, like cartoons and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
She throws the noose around his neck and just throws him off the side of the barn. You're like, oh, okay. That was a quick and easy death. She goes downstairs and takes the wood plank off the door to open it up, and he's just there. And then he wakes up, and then he just casually is just like, yeah, I'm a beast. Freaking takes that thing off. I love how he just brings himself down with one arm.
Gotta fuck with her.
Oh, yeah. And
He's a stout lad.
This is when Ali shows up, and you're like, "Oh, he's dead, or he's not dead." Oh, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, he's
but
about to be.
I love how they bring this character back for him to last literally 3 seconds. He shows up, gets his hand cut off, and then Jason just hacks him to death. You're like, "Oh, wow, that was worth it." But I guess it's so that it distracts Jason so that she can attack him. So I guess, okay, that's fine.
What's good about it is it does subvert the expectation, because pretty much we're already at this point only 3 movies in accustomed to, like, if Jason touches you, you're basically dead one way or another. Like, there's not a lot of people that get up after encountering Jason. So I like that with this guy who's kind of a throwaway character is thrown away, and then he's like, "No, fuck you, I'm coming back." And he's like, "No, you're not." And it's not much. And no, it's not like he has this big heroic moment, but I'm like, well, it's something different. And there's Friday the 13th or otherwise, there's not a lot of slashers where the people who get attacked actually come back when you think they're already disposed of.
Right.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, we get the axe hit to the head, which would make the iconic mark on his mask that'll last the rest of the franchise. And we get the last bit of 3D where it's like he's reaching out with the axe in his head, and he's dead. Yeah, or at least you think he's dead. And then her thing is, I'm gonna go on the canoe out into the lake, like
normal stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what you do, right? In a Friday the 13th, you survive the day or night, and then you just go canoe,
take
lake.
a nap on the lake.
Yeah, except for this lake is just so gross and terrible looking.
Oh yes.
But then she wakes up and she looks and she hears something and she looks, and I love Jason in the window.
It looks like it's like the ice cream trucks here.
He's so happy. He's trying to claw out of the window. He's like, get me out there. And then he bursts through the
Gets
door.
down the stairs pretty quick too.
He bursts through that door. He doesn't even open it. He's just like, boom. Still not the most iconic door burst scene in this franchise. That'll happen.
He's not a big fan of doors or windows. Doors, windows, anything like that. Not a fan.
Oh, but
he likes well ventilated spaces.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
But he starts running towards the lake, and then he just she looks away real quick, and then looks back, and he's gone. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess that wasn't real. Until zombie mom Voorhees just pops out of the water, and I'm like, I don't
looking like they did 50 takes in a paper mache mask.
And I like the worms though that they got coming out of her face.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't like this ending at all. I like the vision of her seeing Jason and him looking like he's gonna come after her, but then it just not just end, but her realize it's a vision. And then realize, then we get the scene with the cops and them bringing her to the hospital, and she's losing her mind. But the whole zombie mom Voorhees thing, I was like, why? Because they did it before? All right.
You got to keep the trend alive, baby.
Yeah. And
3 movies deep.
I just love the cop who throws her in the back of the car. She's the only survivor here. And she's just she's literally losing her mind. And he's like, man, get back.
I know. You would think he would, I don't know, maybe let her calm down for a second. So, no, in the back of a squad car, locked in. No problem.
Other cop, there's another cop in the car, and he's holding her against the seat because she's losing it.
More realistically, don't you think one of the paramedics would maybe take her?
Yeah, not the cops.
Yeah, you would think so.
She's got to be injured, right?
You would think she would at least be getting checked out.
Yeah. Oh. But then we get the
That's not how we do things in Crystal Lake. Fuck these survivors. So
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. We get the awesome theme playing over the final credits, and that's it. That is Friday the 13th Part 3. It's time to go around the room and share our final thoughts on the movie. We'll start with our guest. John, After your 7 millionth time seeing this movie, do you still love it?
Outside of part 4, this is my favorite of the franchise. Part 4 is way better than this, but I really have a soft spot for the first 4 movies in this franchise because they feel almost like 70s horror. They have that little bit of I know they're not, but they have that like grindhouse feel. They're all dirtier, they're all grimier. Jason's meaner, the kids are dumber. They're just raunchier movies as a whole. And this one is unique because it still has that, but it's the first one where you see a tonal change in the movie. There's more fun with it. It's not just a straight like 70s ripoff slasher feel. It's starting to get into its generation. This is where you get Jason looking like Jason. And I honestly, again, outside of part 4, I'd say Richard Brooker is my second favorite Jason. This is pretty much all the things I like about it. If it wasn't for part 4 being so much better, this would be up there. The characters are all fine. They all kind of suck, but they all kind of serve their purpose and they all get dead. And that's kind of what I want out of a Jason movie. I'm not going to a Friday the 13th movie to fall in love with the characters that are not named Jason Voorhees. Fuck them. They're fine being dead. And that's what we get. It delivers on what it needs to be. The 3D gimmick works for me. And at the end of the day, is it a good movie? Debatable, but it's fun. I like watching it. And it just kind of checks all the boxes for what I want out of a Friday the 13th.
All right. Angela.
Me like it. Was it a bad movie? No. Was it a good movie? It was okay. Stop looking at me like that. No, this wasn't my favorite one, but I could watch it over and over. Still, that's it.
Okay, I was just going to interrupt. No, I think that's probably close to me. I think I have some qualms with this movie. Like, I make a bigger deal out of Shelly, and he's just whatever. He's just one more for it. But I liked shit. I don't got nobody in front of me now. But I actually was more fond of the pregnant girlfriend lady. Can't think of her name. I don't remember anybody's fucking name. So no shocker. What now?
Debbie.
There you go, Debbie. There you go. I liked her. I wasn't a big fan of the main lady. Chris, was that her name? Yeah, Chris. I just, she was okay, but like the final girls from the previous 2 are way better. Like I just, she didn't really do it for me. Like something about it, I'd much rather Debbie had been it, to be honest. If actors, if we could just flop actors.
Yeah.
But that's whatever, neither here nor there. But the kills are fun, like especially Andy's kill. I really like that one, and I like how close these movies are to one another. Not counting the first one, there's a little bit of a gap there, but like 2 to 3 and to 4, they're all like really, like time wise, really close to each other that I remember. I think 4 is another one of those. It's like really short after this movie.
It's
like
the same weekend.
It's the next day. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
It's basically part 2 is Friday the 13th, 3 is Saturday the 14th, and then 15th. So yeah. The first 3 these 3 are right next to each other.
Yeah, and I always like that about these first 3, and these are ones that I could just watch all of these together, and it's for me the tipping point for this franchise personally is after 6, which I still enjoy some of them, but they're just, for me, I just think the quality goes down a good chunk. But yeah, these are great. 3 again, not my favorite, but I would no issues just watching it. Just throw it in, watch it, have a good time. Like very little nudity, so if you if you don't mind your kids watching stuff with some language and some violence in it, you could do this. My kids sat through most of it, or a good chunk of it. But yeah, it's good stuff.
After my rewatch, I enjoyed it a lot more. I still have my common issues. The whole assault angle with Jason and Chris, it just always was like, why? This did not need to be in this movie. And I still just can't get behind Shelly. I just think his character is just, other than him giving, like, he's the reason that Jason gets the mask. But other than that, it's like he's whatever. Like I wanted to like him more, and I just couldn't, because all I got was sad boy the entire time. Like, woe me, feel bad for me, even though I'm the one doing the stupid shit. And I didn't. I'm sorry, Shelly. Other than that, I enjoy the kills in this movie. I think Jason in this is terrifying. Other than his casual walk after he kills Vera in the pond. I think that one always gets a good laugh out of me.
This is to play Baby
away.
Elephant Walk or some
So
shit while he's just
oh man, but yeah, I mean, it's Friday the 13th movie. It's doing what it's supposed to, and it tried something a little new, especially with the 3D effects. A lot of it doesn't work, but it doesn't take me out of it. The characters are whatever. Like, yeah, I agree. I, to be honest, would rather have Debbie be the main character, be the final girl, over Chris, especially with that stupid subplot. It's just dumb. Rick sucks in every aspect. Like, I think the character sucks, and also the actor is just not good, like, at all. Like, he's not even up to par with like the other actors in this movie. Like, he's below that, which means you're truly bad, boy. Go ahead, Dan.
You prefer Rick or Shelly?
Shelly.
I have a thought.
Ah.
Change the movie a little bit. Have it closer, not 2 years ago, but a little closer to.
I think she would have been way worse, though. She would never. She wouldn't be back.
Flop the characters. Have Debbie be the main girl. She was raped. It's Jason's kid.
Okay.
That sounds like some A24 Friday the 13th shit that we'll probably get on that TV show coming up.
Yeah.
Probably. Just throw it out there. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's an idea.
Right. Oh, we forgot to talk about the deleted ending that they were going to do where Jason kills Chris, like decapitates her. And then they didn't like that very much. So they're like, nope, we're going to stick with this weird dream sequence that we've already done before.
Let's do swap.
It depends on who you listen to with it. Like, there's some people that talk about that and say they didn't do that ending because they knew they were going to do a fourth movie, and they were trying to when they shot that ending, they were trying to wrap up the series. The more common thing you hear is that the look of Jason for that scene, because it didn't match what the rest of Jason was in the movie, that's why they didn't do it. There's people that say it just tested bad with test audiences, so that's why they didn't do it. Either way, I personally hate the dream sequence endings in these, outside of the first one, because that's the only one that matters. Yeah. Well, actually, I disagree. Even that one, like, you should stop it after Jason pops out of the lake. You don't need this. All these movies up to basically part 4 have this problem where it's like, we need like 4 fucking endings for these movies, and I don't really get that. So.
I don't either. But it's Friday the 13th, so why make sense?
They do. Yeah.
Damn right.
All right. It's time to go over to social media and see what you all had to say about Friday the 13th, part 3. And we got quite a few responses. We're going to go over to Twitter. Our first one is from Epic Film Guys, who says, It's a fun one. It's a blast watching it on the big screen in 3D. Makes it a totally different experience.
That'd be fun.
At SWO Productions, or Stu World Order, who joined us for part 2, says it would be better without all the blatant 3D shots. Johnny Blue says the film where Jason gets his iconic mask. Yes, you're right. It is.
Correct.
Wyatt from Cinema Trip Review says, one of my favorites in the franchise. On the other hand, we will be covering one from the bottom of the barrel, and it's a gif of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah.
Choke on him.
At @R_view movies says, certainly in a horror franchise, that would have to be Psycho 3. I asked people as a bonus question, what is your favorite part 3 in a franchise? I didn't even say horror. I just said in a franchise. And this, I think, this person was the only one to answer that question.
Thank you for doing the entire problem and showing your work.
No,
just kidding. It's cool.
Newman from Movies for Days, or at Movies Days, says, I really enjoy this movie. All the Friday Jason movies are pretty great in their own way. I like Shelly. I like the 3D convention. Convention or conversion? I don't know what he was trying. Maybe he got it right, and I'm just an idiot. I like Jason getting his hockey mask. It's a simple entry, but a perfectly solid one. And he also responded, and also my third favorite from the franchise is either part 2, Baghead Jason, or part 7, Jason versus Carrie. So he answered the question, but I think he misinterpreted the question. But that's okay. We love Newman over here, so we're going to let that pass. We're going to go over to Instagram. It's like, I should be ready for this, right? Our first one is from Big Bad Wolf A84, who says, yes, the Scooby-Doo movie of the franchise.
Is it?
I don't care what anyone says.
That it is.
I absolutely loved the disco music during the opening credits. Yes, this is when Jason gets his iconic mask, but he mostly just lumbers around the place. Loved the handstand kill and the guy getting his head crushed like a grape. Decent enough entry in the Friday the 13th franchise. Is it the best third in the series? Nope. That horror goes to, or that horror, learn how to read. That honor goes to Exorcist 3, my friends. So we did get somebody else who answered the question. Thanks.
For the record, Freddy vs. Jason is the Scooby-Doo of the franchise.
It is. It's true. It is.
Wait till you hear our rankings so far.
Even when you get to the end where they're like, they pull off Jason's mask and it happens to be Freddy, and he was like, "Oh, he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you goddamn kids," and then he just kills them all. So,
and your one stoner friend.
Yeah, Jason Mewes,
that Jason Mewes knockoff character.
Yep,
Discount Mewes.
Yep. Captain Steve Coates says, back in the early 2000s, we had a TV station here called Scream TV. During one summer, they were showing this franchise one film at a time. At that point, I'd only seen the first one that we had on VHS, and Jason Goes to Hell. I stayed up late every night and watched them all, and now it's my favorite franchise. This one, while not my favorite, is still hilarious, but Shelly can fuck right off. God. Wow. I read that right. I didn't make that up. That was in the response. Mouths of Madness says, the one where Jason finally gets his hockey mask. As the third in a series goes, this might be the best. All right. Well, they answered the question and just answered it with this movie, and that is acceptable. And then we have DeweyPodmonster. I think I don't know who the
fuck that is.
Who just says Shelly is our spirit animal and the best character not named Jason in the entire franchise. Part 3 is in my top 2 of the franchise. All right. Well, they clearly like this movie, so thanks for that. Actually, I think we have one more over on our Discord.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Let's go up to that. We have one from Daniel Collins who says, I love watching this without 3D and seeing all the purposeful movements made for the 3D. It's a fun movie, and hey, Jason gets his classic hockey mask in this one. Yes. Yes, he does. All right. Well, thank you to everybody who responded to our posts. It was the last second one. I literally was like 6 hours before we recorded, which is not usually how we do it, but we got a lot of responses in that short amount of time. So maybe I'll just keep doing that. It'll be like last second things. Maybe I'll get people to get in there. But also, this is a very popular franchise. People like to talk about this, so I wasn't surprised that we were going to get some. So, but that is it for Friday the 13th, part 3. Next week, we are going to be jumping back into our Jaws Clones month, as we're going to be talking about a movie that Dan picked, 1979's Prophecy, about a weird mutant
bears.
Yes. So that's exciting. It'll be a first-time watch for me, and I bought this beautiful 4K. So it'll be good times. So yeah, we're very excited to hop back into that. And now it is time for John to tell everybody where they can find you and your show, DeweyPodmonster.
So we inhabit a little place called Dewey Lake, which is in a different state. Now, we're all over the place. You can find us on social medias at DeweyPodmonster. If you're listening to this today on Friday the 13th, we also will have a Friday the 13th episode. We're up to number 6. Go back on whatever platform you want, and you can listen to all of our old crap, including parts 1 through 5 up to this point. Our show's on every major podcast platform. We're on YouTube, which is, no one watches there, but you can. If you want to see our ugly faces, that's where you can do it. And we're on the You Run Podcast Network. So you can go there, check us out, find all of our old stuff, new stuff, and everything upcoming there, as well as all the other shows there. And if you want to find us on Blue Sky, which is my preferred social network platform because it's less weird for the moment, that's the only one where we have a different handle. Our handle there is crap.town.
Okay.
Yeah, love it. All of the links for DeweyPodmonster will be down in the description. Also, I'll be putting You Run Podcast the website down there too, because there's a lot of great shows that are on that network that you should check out. We're friends with a few, so we definitely want to share the love over there. So yeah, John, we appreciate you being here. It was a lot of fun having you back on. And thank you for joining us last second. It was a tough one, but we made it work. And almost 3 hours later, we're still doing this.
I mean, you can have me on at the drop of a hat for Friday the 13th and like 5 other movies I could probably talk about for 3 hours without watching recently. So
Yes. Oh man. Well, we seriously do appreciate it. So make sure to follow DeweyPodmonster. Make sure to check out the show. It's seriously it's not your atypical movie review show. There's a lot. It's a show about consumption, which is perfectly fitting description of the show as they describe it themselves. So definitely check it out. John and Sean are great conversation.
Try to do a ratio of one movie you've heard about, and then we alienate our audience for the next like 2 months. So
people should listen to your show just based on the fact that you did an entire month of Gary Busey movies. So
I agree. That was fun.
Yes.
So.
Yes, absolutely. It was to listen to you talk about a movie about Gary Busey as a dog was a wild time. I don't even think I ever have to watch the movie. I felt it through your guys' conversation.
You probably shouldn't watch it. It's I mean, if the highlight of the movie is he goes to the biodome as a dog, then I've already done my job expressing how good that movie is. So
there we go. As for us, you can find us on our LINKTREE/Dissect That Film, where you can find all the links to our social media, to our Patreon, to our merch store, to everything Dissect That Film. Just go to our LINKTREE. It's in the bio of pretty much every social media that we have. We are pretty much on every social media. We're still on the one that everyone hates. We're still on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. So we're all at Dissect That Film all over the place. Well, Dissect That Film Pod on Instagram and Threads because hackers. But we're back. We're back, everybody. And our Patreon, for $1, you can join us over there and get early access to episodes. We have fully uncut episodes where you can literally listen to everything we talk about, even when, even the stuff that gets cut in the later versions. And you get them up to a week early. So that's pretty cool. I feel that's worth it. And we have other things in store for the Patreon down the road. So if you would love to support us there, please do. If you can't do that, make sure to go to your favorite podcast app and drop us a 5-star rating, because that is definitely something that helps our show out, gets us in more people's ears. And, it just makes me feel good. And if you like watching podcasts, make sure to go to our YouTube channel, because we have a video version of the podcast where you get to see all of our faces. And sometimes I throw clips and other things into the episode. So check that out. YouTube.com/Dissect That Film. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's all free. And my favorite thing is leaving us a comment. I love reading your comments. I love answering, questions you have or all that stuff. So make sure to go over there. And we have a second show called The Monster Zone, where once a month we spin a wheel of monster movies and we talk about whatever one it lands on. We do 2 episodes a month, though, because the first episode is our Out of the Patreon Vault episode, which is an older episode that was just part of the Patreon, but now we're releasing them all. To be honest, I don't remember what that one is this month, but it's a good one. So you should check it out. The second one is going to be on 1980s Humanoids of the Deep, or Humanoids from the Deep. What is it?
From the Deep.
From the Deep. Yeah. I have that. I just bought that.
Yeah.
I just bought that Blu-ray too. So, very exciting stuff. We have Mikey over there as our 4th host of the show, who also created our wonderful new logo, which I'm going to be getting at some point. Would like to slap that on some merch because it's awesome. At least get some stickers. That logo's dope. So check that out. Dan's got a podcast too, where he talks about Magic the Gathering.
I've been busy.
Stop saying no. It still exists.
I haven't,
even if you haven't recorded anything. It's okay. There's other episodes you can listen to until to catch up until he gets back into it. Okay. All right, everybody. We've been here a long time. I think it's time to get out of here. But the lastly, see, unlike you, Sean, when I fuck up, I just keep it in.
I'm John. I'm John, not Sean, right?
I did. Did I say Sean? I'm sorry.
I think you did.
You said Sean.
I probably
did.
Leave it in. Leave it in.
Leave it in, and you know what? Sean will hear it, and he'll take offense because he wasn't able to be here tonight. So
it was supposed to be a joke, and I fucked it up. Okay, cool. Well, lastly, I know. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who supports us over on Patreon. We have Billy Joseph Jr., Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast, Corey Morissette, Daniel Collins, Jordan Champion, Rudy5453, the Flicks and Friends Podcast, Angela, Anna Presley, Dan of Dissect That Film, Doom Generation, Eric Stein, Jason, Robert Stewart, and the Baron's Hideout Podcast. Thank you all for supporting us over on Patreon. And thank you to everybody else who just supports the show, period, because without you, this show wouldn't be a thing. So we appreciate all the likes, shares, all the support. That's the main word. We appreciate your support. And yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. Until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela. And that is John of DeweyPodmonster. And this has been another episode of the Dissect That Film Podcast. We'll see you all again on the next one. Bye. 3D goodbye. Whoa.
Brother.